Hello friends, welcome to episode 251 of the Noclip podcast. It's your boy Danny, it's your boy Frank, it's your boy Jesse.
You already know.
All of the testosterone is in the house. We're here to talk to you about video games and why wokeness is that's the
That's your other
Patreon-exclusive
podcast
one. Yeah, that's the we don't do that stuff here. All we talk about here is the best video games we played this week. And we played a bunch of great video games that I'm excited to talk about. I do, first of all, though, have a confession to make. I put up a poll on the Discord. Did you guys see this poll?
Yes.
I put up a poll in the Discord asking if the chickens should stay in the room. We had some guests come. We have a spare room. The chicks were in there. I guess they're pullets now. They're like 6 weeks old. They've got some plumage. They're looking all right.
Mm-hmm.
But they were down here. So my office has been smelling of chicken shit and other things that I've been using to try and get rid of that smell. But they were supposed to be here. We usually record on a Tuesday. We pushed it out a day later because there was so many stuff dropping that we wanted to talk about, and embargoes and whatnot. Well, I guess less so embargoes. So I did the vote, and I asked people in good faith. I was like, hey, should I keep the chickens or should we kick out the chickens? I have not checked the poll since. I'm going to look now. It was 97%.
Tell me the chickens aren't in the room. Tell me you went against democracy.
I voted in 2025 form. I went against democracy. It wasn't my fault. We had
that's what they all say. I was just following orders. I was just yeah. Well, all right.
The three of them were just like in this big tub, this big steel container tub, not unlike something you'd see on like a garden center or something. And they were we got them, they were like an inch tall. So it was like, they had lots of space. But these fucking chickens grew so fast. I felt like I had them like stuck in like a solitary cell, but three of them. Like it was just like they were going mental and chipping at each other. And I was like, oh boy. So I reluctantly last night I put them out in the coop. And because we did this a day late, I guess I'll just blame it on that. I'll blame it on the rescheduling. But they did survive the night outside, so they have enough feathers. So we're happy.
Okay.
We're happy in that regard,
Great.
We'll take it. Jesse, if you had a chick, what would you call it? A chicken? If you didn't know, if you could name it.
Nugget.
Oh, a nugget's good. That's strong.
Default pick, yeah.
I think that's the name of the baby chick in the Chicken Run sequel.
It's also the name of the owner of the cabaret in Yakuza 0. Is that right, Frank? One of them?
I think Nugget is the chicken you unlock by doing a bowling mini game.
Bowling mini
I
game.
think that's his name. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that. Frank, if you could call you nuggets off the table, Frank, what would you call a chicken if you had it?
I don't know, because the chicken's going to die like sooner than later. Right? How long do chickens live?
I mean, it depends how industrious the local
Depends on how
raccoons
hungry you are.
and skunks they are, I guess. And also, I guess, if you want to kill this thing you raised for meat. I prefer having someone else kill something I have never seen for meat.
I feel like if you give a name to it, you get attached to it. If you don't name it, then you don't get attached to it. So I feel like I wouldn't want to name it. That would be indifferent. I would be impartial to it.
You could call it the Nameless One. Is that? I feel like that's one of the Slipknot members or something. I forget.
Well, there's like the chicken with no name. You can go like a Western route,
that's
like
good.
Clint Eastwood and all the
The chicken with no name. Yeah, I like it. We go with that. We'll go with that maybe. Also, quick shout out to Noclip founding cat Mischief, the second of the two who passed away yesterday. Yes, rest in peace, my good boy. We put him down yesterday. He had a bit of an illness for the past. I mean, he's been diabetic for 2 years, and we've been shooting him full of insulin. We pulled all his teeth out a couple of years ago because they weren't doing too good. So, in many ways, this is a boon to the economy of our family for not having to give this cat any more life-giving. Although, let me tell you, having a vet come to your house to kill your cat is also not inexpensive.
No, I can imagine a house call for that was, not cheap.
Yeah, he couldn't even hit. The thing he hates the most is being put in a car. And he was at the point where he could not stand up. He got pretty bad at the end. The past 2 weeks. So we put him out of his misery. 17 long years with Mischief. Hero and Mischief now are snuggling together somewhere, or just lost in the darkness of eternity that we will all face. Or in heaven. Depends where.
They're chasing balls of yarn up in cat heaven, all right?
That's what it is.
Some positivity.
Somebody tweeted at me, you'll see them at the end of the like golden rainbow, and I just burst into tears. I was like, that is such a sweet thing to say. So thank you to everyone who's been sending. I got a lot of patron messages on the Patreon, on the Discord, and on social media. So I just wanted to acknowledge Mischief and all the very kind messages that people send me. So thank you very much. It's never easy when you lose a pet, and I'm sure many people who are listening have had that experience, if not in their lives, then perhaps even recently. So sending all the pet love out to you as well. Also a reason why last night I set up that coop like fucking Fort Knox, because I was like, no raccoon is killing our chickens like the day that the family cat dies. That would be, my daughter can only take so much, I think. That might be OTT. Although you can eat a chicken. Although I guess if they take the chicken away, I'm not sure what the process is there.
Yeah, they just do it. Are they hunting for sport or are they hunting for food?
Apparently, or like if a cat goes in, because they'll bring the chicken somewhere and then eat it, right? Because cats are like super, they're like the ninjas of the world.
The animal kingdom, yeah.
Raccoons, on the other hand, they'll just fucking kill them all for fun.
They're just in it for the love of the game.
Yeah, exactly. They're in it for the sport. They're like the English guys in the fancy suits on top of their stallions running around shooting tiny foxes.
Oh my God.
They're just there to, ruin the party. They're not there to survive. So, it's look, you by now you've known that I am a hobbyist farmer. This is, I shear the goats' feet. I do the stuff, but it's, I'm there like the rest of you. I'm looking up YouTube tutorials like in the field trying to figure this shit out.
How high qualities are those farming YouTube tutorials? They must just be over the top. Or they're like an old guy with a Zoom camera from 40 years ago, just like filming himself.
It's a lot of like the younger, like our generation who have grown up now and have access to all these cameras and like have like motion graphics and like
there's something
welcome
counter to farming about that.
It does feel that way, but then I remember how like I remember seeing a documentary years ago about farmers like hacking their combine harvesters. Did you ever see this stuff?
No. What?
Because
are hackers going cyberpunk mode?
Yeah, because there was like, well, they're automating a lot of them as well. But then there was all these like, basically, I think the way it worked was if you bought, like, because they buy a combine and it costs, I don't know, like maybe $1 million or like, for several $100,000 for one of them or something. And then they'd have like, I think it was like they had mandatory firmware updates for them. So they Adobe'd these fucking farmers.
Give us $20 a month if you want to harvest all your crops. There's a harvest limit. Yeah. It
was all that shit. So a lot of them were like, got into like electrical engineering and they were like sending, fucking GitHubs, like links to each other.
They were getting like flipper zeros to just hack their stuff. Dude, that's epic.
It's wild.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy out there. Who's not crazy? Our incredible Battle Pass holders. Lovepreet, Yacht, Tiny Tal, Dwayne the Rock Lobster, Anthony Thomas, Nico Passaderi. It's Emi Ferrario, Senator Armstrong, Reed Dredge, Harry Flanagan, Juice, Arno, Matt Pearson, James Brown, Mark Rojas, Quote, Tucker Morgan, David McGarry, Goddesson, Sven Huster, Pez, John Akers, Ewan Nate, Tim Robinson, Forrest Pruitt, Dark Insanities, Jonathan Kremen, Eric Hamilton Schneider, Christoph Batui, Enox, Grizzly Mug, Cameron Ladd, Zachary Snader. I should have done these spooky. I'll do the last one spooky. Zachary Snader. I should have done alternative spooky names. God, the best ideas come. Alex Boucher, George Scream Certus, Jacob Godkiller, Entheo Bat, James Dead. That was an easy one.
That's easy.
Toe here. Oh boy. Graviev. And what do we do for Ryson?
You just do Ryson.
Oh, you're right.
You kill people with that. It's a little scary.
Good point. Rice and
I did want to say Toyer Tilia Evil was right there.
Oh, Tilly Evil. Yeah.
Look at that. Love it. Tilly Evil. It's beautiful. Thank you, Frank. What about Cameron Ladd? Can we give to a Cameron Ladd one?
Cameron Bad.
Oh, yeah, Cameron Bad.
Cameron Dead? Did you say Cameron Bad?
Yeah.
Bad and Dead. I guess. We can do better.
All right.
Answers on a postcard, folks. We're going to talk about some video games. We're going to talk about the Seance of Blake Manor, Ball. I've been told that it's BALLxPIT. The X is not pronounced.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Hunter x Hunter, like the anime. It's Hunter x Hunter as it's written, but you never say the X. Unless you're a poser, then you say the X.
I guess I've been a poser this whole time. Sorry.
You're still learning. It's all good.
You're the younger generation, you know?
Ever so slightly,
you're teaching me about this important stuff. Before eventually my wife has to get a vet to come in to put me down. Once Upon a Katamari, the new Katamari game, Dispatch, Spooky Express, and the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which I'll just double check that embargo
is the embargo up
today. I think it's
Thursday. Yeah. So it'll be up on Friday. Yeah.
Right. Have you played much of that, Frank?
I didn't get the code till later, but I'm gonna dive in this weekend. I looked at like all the games involved. Like I'm very excited about it.
Cool. Let me just get that one out of the way quick then, because I was expecting when we got this one, when MK Legacy Collection came across our table, that Frank would be the one that would dive into the gameplay and play some games, and I would dive immediately into the documentary stuff, which is what I've done. So this is Digital Clips, our good friends at Digital Clips, our old landlords over there in Emeryville here in the Bay Area, makers of some fantastic, documentary video games, I guess we'll call them. This one is a bit more of a standard game, I guess. Like in those games, you could play the games, but the sort of meat and potato of like the Jordan Mechner one, or the Karateka one, or I guess the Tetris one was a bit more of a mix like this. I feel like the main event for those was the documentary style stuff. And if you've never seen one of these, it's basically like a menu that you scroll left and right and up and down on that has a mixture of text. Most of it is imagery, and then short sort of 5, from 3 to 8 minute long video vignettes. And the whole thing tells a story of the studio, a game's development, that type of thing. So they've done this now with the MK Collection. The MK Collection has 1 through 4 in it, but then also has a bunch of the spin-off ones. Frank, off the top of your head, can you remember any of the ones?
There's the biggest one that I'm excited for this is Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero.
Oh shit, that's in there? Okay.
Yeah, and I think this game has you can rewind and stuff like that. I've never played it because it's notoriously hard, but that's in there. The beat 'em up Mortal Kombat Special Forces, even the insane Mortal Kombat trilogy, which already felt like a ROM hack where they just put every character up to that point. There's Game Boy Advance ports, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. There's 2 Game Boy Advance ports. There's Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition, and then also Mortal Kombat Advance and Deadly Alliance. The all GBA ports. And then there's also a fatality trainer, and there's so many details in this that I haven't even touched yet, but I know this is what I'm doing all weekend. And
excellent. And also to Frank's point, the for MK1 they have the arcade version, the SNES version, the Genesis version, the Game Boy version, the Game Gear version. For MK2 they have arcade, SNES, Genesis, Game Boy. There's multiple versions of each ones. They have the arcade and the console port of UMK3. So there's loads of games in this, and you can just go in and play them. They're all online or offline, which is pretty cool. They have a crypt in there, which is sort of like a way to, they have a character sheet thing there that's you can go into Baraka, and then all of his story stuff from all the games is in one place, and you can cycle through it. So it's just like super neat. Like it's a lot of that stuff. But the documentary stuff, I have loved. I think Area 5 works on all this stuff. Apologies if I'm misattributing this one, but I'm pretty sure Area 5, who are, Bay Area video production company, worked on a bunch of doc stuff. A lot of them all of them from One Up back in the day, creators of the One Up show. Super lovely guys, do great work. They did the documentaries on The Last of Us as well. Those ones. I'm pretty sure they worked on this as well. The stuff is beautifully shot, loads of great B-roll, but terrifically edited. The stories are amazing. Like, you have like Ed Boon and all these guys talking about working in the old Williams pinball factory, which I think might be the same building NetherRealm's in now. I haven't gotten to that, or maybe I've skipped over it or something. But it looked like when I visited them years and years ago, it looks like the same spot. And like, walking, like it was basically a pinball factory. And then at the back of it, you walk past this thing of like sheets and sheets of Terminator 2 arcade cabinets clinking together and big like 50-pound presses making legs for pinballs. And then in the back was the room where they were doing all the software for the games, for the pinball and the games. They had like two sort of different teams. So it's like really well produced. I've adored it. There's great, like, they had loads of high res scans of, the very first character sheet for MK1. And there's like a bunch of characters that don't appear for like 2 games later in there. And Johnny Cage has a weird alternative name. And they talked about the whole trying to get John Claude Van Damme. Sorry, John Paul, George, and Van Damme involved and on all that stuff, and cleared up some myths around that, which is pretty cool. So yeah, they did a great job. Like they knew the mission with this thing, and it's pretty awesome. It is a full price game. It's $50. There are a lot of Mortal Kombat versions in here. And I will say that the documentary sections, I think there are 5 of them, and each of them are like pretty long. Like it feels like it would take me the best part of an hour to get through each, maybe something like that. There's a lot of video, a lot of resources, and it kind of feels like the ultimate tome to MK. Like, yeah, they did a great job. I think fans of the game will love it. I think it's 10% off once it launches on October 30th on tomorrow. Yeah, so that's why the embargo's up, because the game's out. So it's pretty cool. Do you guys have any questions, or do you have any MK highlights? Any games that what would be the first game you jump into and want something like this?
Oh, do they have Mortal Kombat? What is it? The one on the GameCube. It's like something Alliance, Deadly Alliance. Yeah, you said that's on there, right, Frank?
Is Deadly Alliance on there?
The Game Boy Advance port.
So just the port.
This is like the core of it is like 1 through 4. It doesn't touch like that. I would love to see that be MK Collection 2 or whatever. Yeah. But the Deadly Alliance GBA port's on here. For me, like, my favorite is Mortal Kombat 2. The fact that the arcade edition's on here is awesome, because like all the games get crunched down a bit when they're during the console ports. But I've never played Special Forces, the PS1 beat 'em up. So that one I want to play. I've never gotten past like the first level in MK Mythologies. So if we finally using like save states and rewind, and that game is notorious because there's like FMV cutscenes that are supposed to be so cheesy, bad, awesome. So I looked at the trophy guide, and the trophy is like, do a fatality in Mortal Kombat 2, beat Mortal Kombat 2 on any difficulty. So it seems like, all right, just beat each game in the collection, you'll get the platinum. So I generally want to do that and ship through it all. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like there are some games in here. Like I own Mortal Kombat 2 on the Amiga, and it looked pretty good. The load times were an absolute nightmare on it. You do a fatality and have to put 2 discs in to get it to load sometimes. MK3 as well. I'm pretty sure I played that on Amiga. I think I did. I'm not sure. I love that one. And UMK3, I feel like I didn't play enough of, and Trilogy as well. So yeah, I'm with you, Frank. I've put so many hours into these games, and I completed 2 a bunch of times. I'm not sure if I've ever completed 1, because 2 is such a like it's hard to go back to one when you've two because like it's like a worse two. It's doesn't have as many characters, doesn't have as many moves. One thing this game has that I really like they've really thought of everything is you can just toggle having the moves on the screen while you're fighting. Like so you can just glance to the top right, and I was playing a Sector, trying to remember how to do his teleportation. Which one does the net? Is that Sector?
That's
Cyrax.
Yeah, it's the green goo net. Yeah.
I always thought it was like a digital net, which makes no sense. Like it was a net made of like computer
like it's that Resident
stuff.
Evil like wire net thing that cuts the dude into little pieces.
Oh no, not like even like a laser. Like it was just a net that was like
Matrix code.
Yeah,
okay.
Matrix code. Like it like wasn't from our world or something, like he was from the robot world.
Projection.
I thought that too, but it wasn't until like the more recent ones on like PS4 and on where it's like I think it literally like is like a net, and they're like I think it burns them too when they get caught into it. I forget, but finally seeing it in 3D, I was like, oh, that's what that is.
That should be a reptile thing,
Yeah,
it's got that color. It's got the thing. I don't like when they took his mask off. Also, it's Mortal Kombat 3, right? When Sub-Zero's got the mask off.
Yeah, that's so bizarre. And that's why Trilogy, I like Trilogy, because I think with Trilogy, you can have like maskless Sub-Zero and then like old school Sub-Zero. Like with Trilogy, they just put every sprite into the game. And so it's so inconsistent in the quality. And I think this game has like a debug mode unlocked where basically you can toggle all the secret characters, you can toggle all the goofy cheats at will. They really let you like customize and toggle everything on and off. Because like I remember as a kid playing Mortal Kombat Trilogy, you had to like input some insane command list to get all these. Like there used to be a thing on Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the cartridge where you could like input a code and it would just be a 10-minute sizzle reel of every fatality. So I would just
You would just play them?
Yeah, I would pop in the cartridge, put in this insane code and just watch fatality. Like that was my YouTube. I would just watch like 10-minute reels of fatalities. But now all that you can just toggle a button to activate the cheats.
That's really cool. It's a great little nostalgia piece. And I think if you've never played Mortal Kombat games, this is probably the way to go about doing it. And to see why they were so influential. And it was really cool. It's just that, like they were talking about the internal pitch process, and they said there wasn't really one for this one. We were just like, hey, everyone's playing these Street Fighter games. They're super cool. Why don't we take the like VHS capture system that was developed by a bunch of these guys, and it's great because they find these guys who've like never really been talked to all that much about the engineering work that went into this and how they figured out how to crunch all this stuff down to 256 colors and all this and the tech they used on like Narc, I think was the first one that they did that used. And it was so funny because they were like, the problem was, they said, we had all these great like beat 'em up games, like not the fighting stuff, like Narc, the side-scrolling beat 'em up, like Streets of Rage. And they said, Japan just had all these incredible artists. And like in America, then we didn't, or we couldn't find them or whatever it was. Like that's why their games looked their way, because of like 80s action movies and because they just didn't have the artisans to do that type of work, and they had to find a different way to make their game stand out. And it's pretty cool. And then they were like, the thing they didn't like was the Narc stuff and trying to get with limited colors, trying to get these tiny like little sprites to look like people was kind of tricky. So then they saw these fighting games and they're like, that's just two dudes, that's just two people. We can that'll be amazing. We can make them look super detailed and it wouldn't be as hard and all this stuff. And so it's a very honest and like, I'd say like humble look. Like they're not, puffing their chests out. It's very much like, it's just like, this was the way the world was going, and we made this game. And the last documentary is all about its influence in going to 3D, and the second chapter is all about it exploding and becoming a cultural phenomenon. So they touch upon a lot of stuff. So great work everyone over there at Digital Eclipse, and I'm pretty sure Area 5 as well. You or whoever worked on it, the individual editors and video producers, that you've done a fantastic job. And it was cool. It was great to sit back and watch a video game documentary and be like, these people know how to fucking edit. This is good stuff. This is good storytelling. I really enjoyed it. Let's stick with storytelling for a second. Jesse, how much of the Dispatch have you played?
I have played just episode 1 and 2. Episode 3 and 4 launched today. They're doing the episodic launch model like they did with Telltale's games. Dispatch is it's pretty good. It's pretty dang good, man. So this is from Ad Hoc Studios. It's like a collective of developers who, some new ones, but a bunch who used to work at Telltale. So, they have
another local studio. Yeah,
there you go.
Just south of me here. Yeah.
You can walk right over and ask them what's going to happen in episode 5.
It would probably take me like 7 hours to walk there from
That's
here.
not bad.
In a car, it's like 20
You
minutes
could walk
on a
there.
highway.
It's 40,000, 50,000 steps or something, right? It's a pretty good step count. Take the bus back. I don't know. Whatever. Dispatch is very, very good. So in that like Telltale storytelling model, this is one that is focused on superheroes, but what if they were corporatized and it's sort of, what if superheroes were in the real world where there's news and police and dispatchers and all of that? How do you market them? How do you sell them? How do you sell the idea of having them defend you?
Have you watched The Boys?
It's in the same wavelength as that. I'd say it's maybe closer to Hancock even. The Will Smith
movie?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay.
Weirdly, I think it's almost closer to that in turn because it's not like hyper gory. It's not like poking fun at like is it a little bit like a right wing? Isn't this guy a little bit like Donald Trump a little bit? GOP, am I right? This is like straight up. It's a lot more personal, a lot more about interpersonal relationships and the drama of like a workplace. It's a lot more like a workplace drama, I would say, actually, more than anything else. You're playing as Mecha Man Robert Robertson. Funny ass, stupid name. Robert Robertson the third. They did that 3 times.
Wow.
This poor guy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, his family lineage is not great at naming. And you are a disgraced, I guess, hero at this point. You were trying to fight a villain in the city, and you lose your powers. You lose your robot suit, and now you are working as a dispatcher for a company called SDN, Super Dispatch Network, or something like that. And you're sending superheroes, or in your case, supervillains, who are trying to be what's the word? I was going to say reinforced. That's not right. Rehabilitated.
Rehabilitated?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
To work as heroes in some aspect. And you send them on like funny little missions in this like style that's similar to This Is the Police. It's like a on-screen tactics, just like a view of a city. And then things pop up on it, and you pick which heroes you're going to send to go do those things. And then they're unavailable for that time, and there's multiple that pop up at the same time. So that's like the structure of the setup for what you're doing gameplay wise. There's like a hacking mini game you do as well. But
are you mostly in that
No,
section?
mostly you're in cutscenes. In these first 2 episodes, there's only 2 instances where you do that, and it lasts maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
I'm not sure yet. Obviously, it's very early, so I'm not sure yet how they're going to introduce that into the like storytelling part of it. Because for the second episode, the story of it is sort of like there's a scripted moment that happens at the end of that sequence, and then you make some choices in that plays out more narratively. But the narrative parts of this, unlike Telltale games, is you're not walking around environments. You're just watching cutscenes, and they're really good cutscenes.
Yeah, this stuff looks like it should be on television or like a movie.
Yes.
Like it looks the animation is insanely good.
Like it's almost at that level of like Invincible, the Amazon Prime show. Actually, I would say for the most part, quality wise, it looks better. The animation is like a little slower and obviously a little bit easier for them to pull off here. It's not as dynamic and big.
Cast as well, right?
Yes, great voice acting cast. Aaron Paul voices the main character, voices Robert Robertson. They also have Alana Pierce is in there. There's some Critical Role actors whose names are escaping me. And then also Moist Critical for some reason. He voices the Bat, I don't know, Screech or something like that. He's pretty good. I can't lie. He's actually pretty good in the role. His very croaky voice works perfectly for that character. Yeah, I think overall it's been really good, these opening 2 episodes. I think something that they nail is the storytelling in this one is a lot more fluid. In the Telltale games, it was a lot of, and I think Jacob Geller posted about this on Blue Sky, that like the Telltale games had this problem where, and a lot of earlier games like this had this problem, where like dialogue would have a big delay between voice lines. Like you would say something and then you would have to wait for the camera to cut and then you have to wait for the voice line to load. And it was always like a little bit of a hitch and it didn't feel quite natural. Here, your dialogue selections are timed perfectly. There's like a timer bar and you have room to make a selection and like think about what you're going to pick. But if you miss something, it's okay. They'll pick an option and like it's usually whatever. It doesn't really matter that much.
And the game doesn't like pause. It keeps playing a video
Exactly.
Like,
things are going on. Characters are talking
yes.
while you're picking a dialogue option. So it's a little bit more fluid in that way. I think it just feels better. It's a lot smoother. Like it took a little under 2 hours for me to finish the first 2 episodes with my wife, who like was 75-80% paying attention. She was like, this is really good. At the end of every episode, she'd be like, if this was just on Amazon Prime and I didn't have to press buttons, I would be like, this is a great TV show. Like it's genuinely good. The character relationships are really well handled. I think like, just overall, technology wise, it is probably one of the best looking games of this year, which is maybe unfair because it's all cutscenes. But like, there's one point where a character is washing their hands, and I straight up went, that's the best hand washing animation I've ever seen. Like the way the water moved over the character's hands, I was like, that has to be hand drawn. If that's done in 3D, kudos to whoever figured that out. How many fingers
did I have? Did an extra finger appear for a second?
Oh no, was it AI generated? I didn't check. No, I would assume that's not the case.
I assume very much so not. Yes.
It's very good. Dispatch, I recommend checking it out. I'm going to keep playing it every week. That's the thing I'm honestly most excited about is I got into every Telltale game too late. Because they usually like $20-$30. And did I have $20-$30 back then to spend? Not really. So I would pick them up after the fact. But I always wished I could like get in on the conversation as they were going on, sort of theorize about the episodes. I like that release model when it's done right or when it's like done quickly enough. I went back and checked the original Walking Dead, the release gap between the episodes was sometimes 2 months.
Months. Yeah.
That's crazy. This is every week. They're putting out 2 episodes and it's done by like the middle of November. So you'll know what's going on. There's 8 episodes total. I imagine the final few episodes will be longer, as that's usually the case with Telltale's games, and they usually have more to wrap up. But yeah, so far I'm really liking it. I'm excited to check out more and follow with it as it releases.
Nice. So it took about 2 hours to complete those first 2, but that's presumably only a quarter of this game that's coming out.
Maybe even a fifth. Yeah.
Few weeks. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to tell. So yeah, that's Dispatch. I only played like the opening 30 minutes, I think, before I went to bed a couple of nights ago, and was really blown away by the performances and the art style and the writing. It's the writers of Tales of the Borderlands and The Wolf Among Us, which is a pretty great epoch in Telltale's latter history. One question I have for you is, when I was playing, they had one of the options when you started the game was whether or not to leave the QuickTime events on or off. And I just turned them off because I was like, I just don't care. I don't have to swipe left when the guy is on his phone or whatever. Did you leave them on or turn them off?
So we actually went through that, my wife and I, because I was like, who cares? I'm not pressing buttons. I've done enough of this in my life. If I could just watch the good cutscenes, I'll watch the good cutscenes. I don't know if you've noticed this. I definitely did after I turned them off. If you leave them off, the pause that is usually in a cutscene, like they'll slow down time to give you time to hit the reaction, is egregiously long. It's like,
like it's loading or something?
No, not like it's loading. Like, okay, so the points where you would see like, a swipe for the camera or whatever. I don't know if it was a bug. I don't know if it's because I disabled them.
No, I did notice this.
You know?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It almost like it does the action, but it does it later than you would have.
Yes, exactly. It plays out the whole slowdown and then just succeeds. And that was driving me insane after 2 or 3 things. I was like, screw it. I'll just hit right trigger every once in a while. What's the big deal?
Okay.
But that was bad. They should like go back and just have it play out. I just want it to look like a TV show. I don't need to be reminded that I'm supposed to be pressing a button here. It's not the end of the world, but it was definitely very distracting, especially early on. And that opening cutscene has a lot of them. So
yes, I'm with you. I think I was trying to figure that out afterwards, and I was like, I bet they are able to remove the QuickTime event off of whatever video is getting played here.
Yeah.
But they might have to and there's probably a hook to like cut to the next thing after you've done it, but they might have to have duplicates of all of these scenes. They might have to re-render it without the thing to solve that problem. I don't know.
I don't know if these are rendered cutscenes.
Oh, you think they're just playing in an engine?
Yeah.
I mean,
some of it is definitely, there's like artifacting like on title screens and stuff, but some of it feels an engine. I'm not entirely sure. I would be surprised if that was the case, honestly. But there's something about the quality of it, and like there's certain things that they don't have to do that they are, I feel like, in terms of graphical style and like shaders. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
The game would be incredibly large if they had.
Yeah, because it's only 5 gigs.
Yeah, and it did play on my widescreen as well. So
be really weird.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
It must be then. Yeah, I think our spooky sessions, which we'll talk about later, I think each of those videos rendered was bigger than that. So, yeah, they're
which
right.
makes the visuals even more impressive to me.
It does. It does.
It's so good. Oh, by the way, last thing, Jeffrey Wright, I forgot to mention as Track or whatever his name is, fucking one of the best characters in video games, period. His writing is so good. His acting, he's one of the best actors, I think, of our generation.
Jeffrey Wright's in this? That's so cool.
Yes, he plays like the older black man characters in the trailers. He is like your sidekick.
He plays himself.
Basically, yeah. He's so good. He's so funny. Like, his writing is funny. His delivery is funny. Everything he does is either comical or heartwarming. He is so good. If anything bad happens to him, I'm going to be furious.
Have you seen American Fiction?
Yes, that is one of the best movies I've ever seen. That's like top 10.
I have it on my watch list. I've still not jumped into it. But it was just interesting to see him in a comedic role. I guess because I got introduced to him through, I think it was Westworld was the first thing I saw him in. Doesn't look like anything to me. So it's interesting. I was like, oh, they're having him as a lead in a like dark comedy. Well, I don't know what, cultural comedy or whatever. Yeah. It has a bit of heart in it, I assume, but it's like a comedic role. So
he's pretty funny in that because it's like him, dealing with his inner turmoil. Where here it's just like, what? I can't use my superpowers. Fuck, I hate you, you stupid fucking kid, dumbass.
It's also worth mentioning he is in Venture Brothers in season 7. They introduced a character named Think Tank. And it's a parody of MODOK. So he's done like comic book superhero stuff. And the Venture Brothers guy said the same thing. Yeah, we invited Jeffrey Wright, and like in the booth, he was just like delightful.
Just killing it. Yeah.
But if you look up the character like Think Tank, it's just like.
Does it look like MODOK?
Yeah, it's MODOK.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
It's
a MODOK tank with a black face.
Yeah, Think Tank. Yeah. He's
perfect.
great in it. Yeah,
Think
so Jeffrey
Tank.
Wright's like an all-timer.
Does he get out of the tank and is he just a floating guy?
I think so, yeah. It's like MODOK, yeah.
It's just Jeffrey Wright MODOK.
Yes, yeah.
That's fucking brilliant.
They do something similar in the Marvel What If series where he plays like Uatu, this like space guy who watches everything. But every once in a while he'll be like, "What? How did you see me? What? I'm in space. What? I don't understand." Like he's so good.
The tank that he drives around in Adventure Brothers is a big purple tank, and it has a license plate on the front that says "Think."
Oh my God, I need to see this.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, that's literally just him. That's great.
Is so good. Wow. Very cool.
Good for him.
Oh man. Yeah, good for him. Good for the Dispatch. It's like Deftones. Good for Dispatch. Available now for $30. Not bad for all that action. So Dispatch. Check it out. I'm gonna jump onto one. Let's go to Frank first. BALLxPIT. You've been sucking on this teat all week.
Oh, yeah, that is not where I thought you were going.
So this emerged after like the hype of like Mega Bonk took over for like a month ago, and I played a lot of that, and I talked about I burned out my eyes and played it on a plane, made me sick, but it was really good. And then as I was like in what do you call it? When alcoholics go to like rehab for a weekend,
you're on a retreat.
Yeah.
A rehab.
Whatever. There's a great movie in like the 40s where a guy drinks so much he starts having delirious DT or whatever.
Delirium tremens or whatever.
Yeah, as I was suffering from that from my Mega Bonk withdrawal, everyone was talking about BALLxPIT, and this is by Devolver Digital, and I grabbed it because it was on Xbox Game Pass. And yeah, I started playing it, and I think I've put at least like 10 hours into this game. And the premise of BALLxPIT is it's kind of similar to like these games, Vampire Survivors and all that, but it's the premise is like it's like Breakout, where enemies, blocks are coming down the screen, or even like Galaga, but blocks and enemies are coming down the screen. The screen. You are like a hero type character, and you're just shooting balls up and up, and you're constantly leveling up. Every time you level up, you get roguelike choices. Do you want kind of these balls, different items to affect your crit chance, whatever. And you level up so fast, and all of a sudden the screen is filled with hundreds of balls, and can you make it and defeat the final boss in time? But yeah, the rate of progression and stuff is very satisfying. It's kind of like Cult of the Lamb, where half of it is this choice-based roguelike, this very like combat focus, and then the second half is you're returning to your base, and it's a base management. Even like Age of Empires or Cult of the Lamb, where you're putting down resource farms, you're putting down buildings that level up your characters, buildings to discover new characters, new abilities, things like that. And so it has this Cult of the Lamb gameplay loop where half the time you're spent managing your little base, tweaking stuff, and then going back to the battlefield and doing another run. Runs are maybe, there literally is a 15-minute timer, so they're never longer than 15 minutes, but usually about 10 to 15 minutes. So you can do, like I'll boot it up like 3 or 4 times throughout the day. I'll come home from the gym, all right, let me do like 1 or 2 rounds of ball pit or whatever. It's so good. So I'll play a bit and then manage my farm and then go back to doing work. Every time I boot up the game, it's like, oh, it's been a while. Do you want to collect your resources on your farm and then go back in? So it has this perfect gameplay loop. But the reason I like it better than Mega Bonk is like, Mega Bonk is very jokey. It's good, but there's only 2 stages and you kind of see all it has to offer after a while. Ball Pit, there's so many different characters and every character has a very unique ability. One person's balls will go through every enemy on screen. It won't bounce back. One person's balls, you can aim your reticle on the screen and throw the ball over so you don't have to zap it.
Nice.
It's things like that. And then you unlock an ability to have 2 characters at once. And so your abilities are then combined. And that's where the BALLxPIT thing comes from, is all of the weapons you get can then be fused together and evolve. So you'll have a ball that does bleed damage and then a ball that hits every enemy vertically. You can fuse the 2. So now your ball does bleed damage on every vertical enemy, and then you can fuse that ball with another ball. So there's something like 1,000+ different combinations, and there's an achievement for finding every combination. So it's just very fun experimenting, and like again, like so even like Hades, so many of these types of games, it's all about like, oh, will you luck out and get a fun build, or you're forced to try a different playstyle and discover you're really good at that way. And so it's just constantly rewarding. Whereas I think Mega Bonk was like, okay, you kind of quickly figure out what works. Ball Pit is the fun of discovery. And again, like Hades or a lot of these games, they'll reward you. Oh, you haven't used this character. We'll give you plus 20 gold on your next run or whatever. So it's so satisfying. And that loop is really good. And like, there does seem to be an endpoint of the game of like, there's like layers. There's like maybe 7 different stages. So if you finally level up
of the pit, you're going deeper,
yes.
right?
Yeah, and that's part of the base building is like every time you beat a boss, you get a gear piece and you upgrade the elevator, and you have to kill that boss with like 3 different characters. So maybe you have one character whose playstyle you really like, but you have to level up the other characters.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's just like it's way deeper than like Mega Bonk, and again, that's why it reminds me of Cult of the Lamb. Is just like, oh, there's a lot here. The music is also really chill and good, and yeah, it has this weird like, I don't know, I would say almost like Dreamcast level graphics where it is like 3D chunky pixels, but it looks really nice and cool. And and the biggest thing I think why I really like it is I'm sure it's the same with like Steam Deck or console, but on Xbox, the controller is vibrating. So every time the ball is bouncing back, you get that vibration. So it kind of feels like pinball or something. The controller is constantly shaking.
Don't put your controller like that when you're making that action, all right?
It's so
the balls are vibrating. That's all he's saying.
Tell me about your balls again.
It's like Res 2, baby.
Yeah.
They did it.
No, it really is. It's like having a 4D box seat or whatever. So it's just
if you have
about
multiple controllers, will they all vibrate? Can you
that'd be sick. Yeah. I hope so. Yeah. No, it's really good. It's really, really good.
I'm glad you're liking it. I played the demo a while ago, and I thought like the base building stuff was really fine. Like it reminded me of the base building in Loop Hero, where it was just sort of like something you went and did, got some upgrades, and then you went back and did the main gameplay part of it. But here I found that like whenever I was doing it, I was like, okay, like it almost took too long. The further the game gets, is it done quicker, or does it still take the same amount of time?
There's like a you can like you expand your base, and then so you can kind of plot it like, all right, I'm gonna put all my auto generating resources over here. I have all my houses here, because what you start doing is you start wanting to upgrade your buildings, and in order to upgrade their buildings during the resource like farming of it,
it's just so funny.
You zip out, you like send all your characters to harvest, and it's just like.
And your characters bounce like their balls.
Yes, yeah.
And so in order to upgrade the buildings, the characters have to bounce off it. So what I do is like in the middle of the map, I have all my buildings that need to be upgraded in the middle. So I'll just have them zip up, and then they upgrade those buildings. And so then I'll rearrange. All right, what next buildings do I want to upgrade? Put them here in the upgrade pit or whatever. And so like, again, like at first it was overwhelming, and then I looked at some Reddit stuff and I was like, okay, I see how people are doing it. And then I'm not too worried about like trying to min-max it, because again, the joy is like, well, I could do another run of 10 minutes, get a bunch of things, and then by then like farm again. So it's like, I feel like the game lets you be sloppy with it, and you're constantly upgrading the area so you can pad it out. And and again, like the achievements are coming easy enough, so I like it. But yeah, it just came out of nowhere. I had no anticipation. I saw like 3 friends posted about it on Blue Sky. Even like Danny, I think I saw you have a picture on your Steam Deck with BALLxPIT on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this? I think Jeff Gerstmann talked about it, and like I'm someone who it's so weird. I like Breakout. I love things like Puzzle Bobble. There's no like puzzle element here, but just it's so satisfying to like aim your thing. Here it bounces here, and then again like you'll get power ups that's like balls will increase in speed on every bounce. Or balls will increase crit on every bounce. So what I start doing is like I'll just stand right in front of an enemy and just goes and it just rapidly, and the enemy dies and explodes. And you can get a ball that's every time an enemy dies, an explosion hits a 9x9 grid, and then those characters die, and it cascades into fireworks on screen. It's just so so satisfying to play.
Yeah, it's a very like dopamine mining video game. It feels like it's hitting all the little like neurons in your brain and making them fire. Much like the balls in the game, my neurons are bouncing around all the electricity in my brain when I play BALLxPIT.
When I first played it, I also felt that like I was just on that point that like I was, I have one of these games I play like on my phone.
Yeah.
It's just called Balls, BALLZ, and it's like if I'm bored on a plane, I'll just fucking play this for like forever. I just love ball bounce. It's just Breakout, shoot balls up and all that sort of stuff. But I did, after I was playing a little bit of BALLxPIT, I was like, is this just a big Skinner box that's making me feel good and doing enough of the things? But there's a good amount of meat on this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Like artistry, and the music is great, and I love the town stuff. I thought that was very funny what they did, basically turning it into another little Breakout game. And like you said, Frank, there's variety with the mushing the stuff together and the different characters. But it's funny how that's becoming something now that I have to consider a little bit. Vampire Survivor sort of cracked open this, and we talked about it with what was the one-armed bandit game? I was like Clover Pit. Yeah, we had that discussion, right? So it's funny. Each time I play one of these games, I am being a little bit more aware of why am I having fun? Yeah, why am I having fun? Which seems like such a downer thing to do, but it seems kind of necessary. You're right. Days. No, to be fair, I do not think there's anything wrong with having fun in whatever way you want to have fun with these video games. If you're playing a video game and you're having fun with it, that's cool. I hope you're enjoying your time. Like, I'm never going to bemoan anyone for doing what they want with their free time. I play Guitar Hero. I could just play the real guitar. I also own one, but I like playing Guitar Hero because it makes my brain happy. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, I think it is an important adult normal thing to do, to question whether or not what you're doing is why you find it fun. And if you have a good reason for it, that's just like, I'm enjoying it, I don't really care. That is a perfectly reasonable position, and I think you should be allowed to have fun with that. I think anyone who tells you shouldn't is going a little over the top. But also, I know for me personally, I played BALLxPIT the demo, and I was like, that's it. I'm good. Like I was like, I don't need to play this game. I'm happy playing anything else. Very fun idea. The best thing to me is the ball fusing. That is such a cool idea. I love the idea of like, whenever a game goes, do you want to mash these two abilities together? Like Vampire Survivor has that, right? Where you can like build combos. That's great. Like that always feels good. It feels like, oh, I've got an extra slot. Now my build can be even crazier. So that stuff's great. Like you're totally right, Danny. Frank, I agree with you. Like they've done so much here to make not just a game that is purely dopamine and like hitting the slot machine button until you get the thing you want. Like it's also giving you strategy. It's giving you opportunities to see new things and like watch the novelty play out. And like I've heard there's different characters. Like there's a tactician that just plays the game for you at some point. Like there's lots of different weird stuff like that. So, more power to them. I think they've made something really that sticks for people, and that even for people who are critical of this stuff, I have heard lots of really positive things. So I think that's a real good sign that they've made something that's like worth bringing up though.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Yeah, I agree.
I feel like if you are the type of person who is super burnt out on that type of stuff, I'm not sure this is
not going to work for you.
It's probably not. No. Yeah. BALLxPIT available now, $15 on Steam. Is it on anything else?
Yeah, I'm playing it on Game Pass, and then
I'll
cool. assume it's on PlayStation, but I'll check real fast.
I want to throw out an idea here for Devolver. Shout out, by the way, to the developer Kenny Sun, who has made a bunch of indie games on Steam. The pit in BALLxPIT is actually the Tower of Babel that gets hit by a big meteor. So they should do like a Chance of Sonar pack, I think.
All right.
The Babel pack,
Oh, that's good. Call it the Babel Pass.
Babel Pass is Babel Pit.
Babel Pit,
maybe.
That's good.
That's pretty good. Yeah. That's nice. So yeah, anyway, shout out to the Tower of Babel that apparently is coming up a lot in video games these days. Okay, onward to at least my main event. the best game I played this year. Very strong contender for my game of 2025.
Escape from Duckov. Check it out.
And honestly, it's like it's in the territory of like my like top 10 games ever. And
wow.
and that is where it goes from a recommendation as a card carrying gamer to being an Irish person who's also really into these types of games. That's where it crosses the boundary. The Seance of Blake Manor came out of, for me, sort of embarrassingly came out of nowhere because it's made by Spooky Doorway, who made the Dark Side Detective game, which you know, I haven't played enough of. I remember playing demos of it before it came out, I think, and you know, sort of pixelated 2D sort of Lucas style adventure game. The Seance of Blake Manor, published by Raw Fury and made by Spooky Doorway, as I said, who is a remote team based across predominantly Ireland, Dundalk and Galway and a couple of other spots. This is a first-person cel-shaded sort of mystery game. Sort of, I've heard it described as Agatha Christie meets Mary Shelley. It's like this haunted manor, and you are essentially going in to solve a disappearance that's going on there. There is a seance happening there in a couple of days. The game takes place on the way to those couple of days, which in and of itself is really interesting because it's a mystery game where the mystery is happening alongside your investigation of it. You're not just coming in after the fact and trying to figure it out, like an Obra Dinn, for instance. So you're able to interact and influence the people who are in this manor. So it's a first-person game. You are walking around this manor. You're not like, there's no jump button. There is a crouch button, but mostly I think just to like see around things. You were scanning the room to look at items that are relevant. You were having conversations with people. The things that you look at in the room and the conversations, they get added to a sort of list of verbs almost within the game that, you know, questions or topics that you can then ask someone else. So if you see like, hey, there's a weird like deer, I'm making one up, weird deer head in my bedroom that's looking at me, then you could like basically ask everyone, not everyone, but like a suite of people, like maybe the housekeeper, the people who would be relevant to ask that question. You know, if there was a hunter in the place, I'm really just making things up next. I don't want to spoil this shit. You can ask those questions. There is a very interesting time passing mechanic. So the game takes place over the course of, you arrive on a Friday evening, and then there's a Saturday sort of until the afternoon, and then Saturday evening from the afternoon till bedtime, and then the same for Sunday. So there's sort of like the introductory part, and then so there's 5 sections basically. The first one is pretty short, and then you're into these 4 main sections, and you can kind of do whatever you want with your time except for a couple of specific events that are happening on the lead up to this seance. Everyone in the manor is there for the seance. They're all a mixture of interesting people, some of which profess some sort of magical abilities, some of whom are, you know, working there, some of whom are friends of folks or friends of the owners or whatever it is. And they're all here to see what is meant to be not just some silly little Ouija board thing, but like a legitimate seance. They are saying they have planned this forever. The lady who's come to do it is this famed Italian mystic, and she's basically like putting all of her energy into making this happen. And over the course of the game of the 2 days, you uncover layers of mythos and history relating to the manor and the land, and Irish history going all the way back to Tua de Danann, our original sort of pre-human polytheistic god, like our sort of Greek house, as it were, of gods, which I have never seen represented in a game. I'll get to that stuff kind of later. And so, yeah, you're breaking into people's rooms and searching them. You're talking to them. And this time mechanic, the reason why it's split up into these days, and each day is split into specific hours, and each hour the person's timetable like resets basically or changes. So like maybe during 5 and 6 they're going to be in their room, maybe during 6 and 7 they're going to be in the drawing room, and that's where you can have a chance to talk to them. So you have to like plan sort of who you're going to talk to and when, while you're uncovering this mystery in real time. But if you're also exploring the rooms, you know, if you look at something on the wall or you find some notes, a minute passes every time you do this. So it basically forces you to be, you can walk around the garden, you can walk around the house as much as you want. That doesn't waste any time. And some stuff like looking at things in the library don't have a time cost. I was watching a stream on Steam that the developer did. Apparently until somewhat recently, they did have a time cost on the research in the library, which I would have really struggled with because I was just reading everything for fun at that stage. So it sort of forces you to not just ask every question to everyone, you know, because by day 2, you've got this massive lexicon of topics and people and incidents and whatever's that you can ask pretty much anyone about at all times. But if you do, you're just burning time on your clock. And it just creates this like wonderfully lived in adventure. The writing is super. It's all about the characters. Like the sort of grand mystery of the game is important, but ultimately it's about the individual mysteries of the 20 something people, like I don't know, 26 or maybe more people that are in this game. And essentially what you're doing is Mass Effect companion quests for each of these people. They all have their own shit. Some of them are intertwined with other people. They have an amazing UI that really explains and helps you understand what you're missing. Like, oh, there's probably something in that room I haven't gotten, or, oh, I forgot to ask this person about this topic, or I need to ask this person about something first, and that will probably unlock the topic with this other person, and I can talk to them. And it creates this just really, lived in, exciting, dynamic investigation, and this sort of a balance of both, like anticipation in both regards. I was excited to see what was happening next, but constantly terrified that I was wasting time and not getting enough to try and solve before the seance occurs on the Sunday night. Absolutely. Just from a purely gameplay perspective, I adored it. Jesse, you've played a bunch as well. We did an indie rec over on Noclip too. What have your impressions been of it?
Yeah, I mean, I basically echo everything you say. I think this game is just fantastic. I think making a game like this that is structured in this way, that's like a whodunit, but also like a folk story of you discovering the backgrounds of these people, but also like a cultural era and mythos that I, as a North American person, just never really get to hear about of Irish culture. Irish people for us is kind of just leprechauns, and that felt unfair the first time I heard it. I was like, that's people say Canadians are just igloos and bears. There's other things going on. And I think it's just so interesting to learn more about that. Tangentially, like, I'm like, Cromwell. I don't know what a Cromwell is. I'm Googling that outside of the game. Like, oh, that's a real person that like did stuff that I'd never heard about the history of. So that was really interesting just from that angle of it. But then the gameplay of it, like playing this game, I think I said it in the quick look or in the indie rec. This is a video game for adults. This is like a game that you play if you want to play a detective style video game where you are not forced to have a notepad. You are not forced to think too hard or remember names. It is like, here's everything you could possibly know about this character. Here's the whole mystery spread. It's like 40 points. There's all these chains connecting things together. And then on the left, it's like, here's like the 3 things you care about. Go do that. And like, that's so good. There was actually a point, and I think this is the perfect representation of who this game is for. There was a point where I was doing a side quest puzzle thing where I randomly stumbled upon something interesting, and I interacted with this character who was like giving me cryptic information to go check out this thing. And I went over there and I picked up what is clearly a very important thing that I should have remembered what it was. And then I got a text from my wife, and I got an Instagram message from my friend, and I got a phone call. I had to go walk the dog, and I came back and I was like holding the thing. I was like, what the fuck is this for? I don't know. I went upstairs. I'm doing a bunch of stuff in the game. And then I'm like, wait a second. Didn't I have something earlier? And I checked the book, and it's like, here, this item, by the way, was for this character. And I'm like, oh my God. And I went and did it. And like this whole sequence of events played out that wasn't important to the main narrative. It didn't give me anything. It was just like an extra side thing that was paid off from like a side conversation I had with another character, an unimportant unimaginably useless bit of information that didn't lead to anything. You see on the map, it goes to nothing. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But like the universe of this world and in the house, it was like an important beat. I was like, that is amazing. That is so cool. That to me, that is what, and this is not a knock on Blueprints, that is what people thought Blueprints was.
Right.
Blueprints is like this big, impossible to parse Rubik's Cube of a house. It is so cool to play. It is doing its own very unique, specific thing. But I think there are a lot of people who wanted to enjoy what Blueprints was doing, and it was too cryptic. It was too obtuse. And I think for those people, Seance of Blake Manor might be exactly what they want. Like it still has that puzzle element of it, but it's more explicit. It has narrative beats that are more engaging, I feel like, for a lot of people, more explicit again. Like it works on a level that I think is a lot more approachable while not sacrificing its depth. It's still incredibly deep. There's like, I'm like 12 hours in now, and it's still every corner I turn, I'm learning something new. Like I'm constantly like, oh, that's what that is, or like seeing a new shape or hearing something new from a character. It's like the amount of content in here is staggering, considering it's in a house that you walk through the same rooms of over and over and over again. It's so impressive.
Yeah, I think I want to echo the point of like this game is not. I wouldn't say it's very difficult or anything. No. It's a fairly friction light game. They're really trying to get you to push the story forward. I definitely had in the sort of second act of the game, let's call it, of the three, as I experienced it, I had a point where I started to struggle with one or two of the missions. I was missing a key piece of information. It was just a code for a safe, and I could not find it. And I eventually found it in like the final hour. Like I kind of knew where it had to be, but I just could not find it. You can press spacebar and it highlights all the things that are interactable in the room, so you're not just like fucking clicking on every wall like in Monkey Island sort of one style, which is definitely very helpful, and it does a good job of like letting you know like, oh, you already looked at this or whatever, that type of thing. But I could not find this thing. I ultimately completed the game having not completed all of the ones that I wanted to do. I had actually thought that the ending of the game would resolve the ones that I had. I thought that there were people I hadn't met yet or something that would help me, and ultimately that wasn't the case. So I'll probably go back and see if I can get a perfect run on the game, as it were. But yeah, I think a lot of people have been asking about that because, you know, Obra Dinn is not a difficult game, right? Obra Dinn is a game that like, you know, tries to get you through it, but Obra Dinn is more difficult than this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like. Yeah. This game is really trying to push you along and have you experience as much of all these stories as you can. So
it does that to the point where it like stops what you're doing. Well, not necessarily stops what you're doing, but like suggests that at the end of an investigation, you go into the menu and play Mad Libs to figure out what exactly is going on. It's like checking. Do you know what's going on?
Yes.
Fill in the blanks, please, so that we know that you know what's going on, which is such a funny mechanic to have in there.
It does like a Curse of the Golden Idol, like word selection Mad Lib thing, like almost the exact same.
But it's not like puzzle solving in the same way, because it's like there's only so many options, and like if it has to follow proper grammar, there's only one word that's going to fit in some of those blocks. So it's definitely like checking the player more than it is like an extra layer of puzzle solving. Which again, it's useful. It's like if you're 30 and you forgot what the puzzle was, you can go back and check the sentence you made a week ago and be like, oh, okay, all right, that's what that was.
You're right. It's almost like a narrative toll booth that the player has to go through. I hadn't considered that actually. Yeah. And then, the stories themselves are just beautiful. I think this is where it goes into the, just on gameplay alone, this is one of the best games I played this year. It might be the best game I played this year just on that alone. But as an Irish person, this is so special. I can't talk to you about how many times, you know, people have asked like, what's the most Irish game you've ever played? And it's like, well, you know, there's a couple of indie games I've really enjoyed, like small little ones that have come out over the years that took place in Ireland, or, you know, there was one like PS2 horror game that was set in Cork or something. Like it was made in Japan. I forget which one it was. There was a PS3 game. People are spam the comments, please. I forget what it was called. But like, not really. Like games don't really get taken. That Assassin's Creed expansion pack with the Vikings was set in Ireland, but it was in Dublin. That pissed me off because I was from the original Viking capital of Ireland, Waterford, in the southeast. But this game it takes place in the late 19th century, I should mention, 1897, and you're talking like close enough to the Great Famine that it's, on Gorta Moor, the Great Hunger, which was close enough to, which was still sort of in living memory. And also like a lot of other really important contemporary, modern moments in Irish history. The Cromwellian invasion you mentioned, when Oliver Cromwell, who even in the UK, is a divisive figure, basically came over and committed genocide in several areas of the country, all over the country. In Munster, my town was the only one that didn't fall to him. Waterford, he couldn't get through those big ass Viking and Norman walls. I think we eventually submitted, but there was no massive death there. Wexford got obliterated. They piked people, stuck pikes through men, women, and children, and stuck them on the bridge in Wexford so people would know. And just an absolute bloody massacre of all of these people. And it's connected to the manor because it's like basically a second in command was the original who owned this manor or whatever. They explained that pretty early on. So there's all that stuff, but then there's all the Irish mythos. Like when Catholicism came to Ireland, we had this really rich pre-Christian, people have lived on the island for thousands and thousands of years. And so, it's like the oldest constructed object in the world is in Ireland. It predates the pyramids by like 1,000 years, Newgrange. And so there's really ancient stuff. And when Catholicism or Christianity came to Ireland with St. Patrick, a lot of that stuff was either co-opted or it was sort of turned into children's fairy stories. You know what I mean? Like you can keep your fae folk, but like we're going to say these are all like weird little kid stories. And like you can keep your harvest festival and your Samhain festival, which is Halloween, and you can keep your weird Christmas one, but we're going to change them all. And that's how religion spread a lot of these places, was like, oh no, your religion is connected to ours. We're actually the latest version of it.
Jesus was actually there in the original? They painted over him.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So like there's a lot of so there's this. So I've come from a place, and even my hometown, that has this very layered history of both, conquest, myth, religion, faith, people of different types and tribes trying to survive on the same island, everything into modern stuff like the Great Hunger or the famines that came before, or the Magdalene laundries, where all of these similar things that happened in Canada, where all of these women's children it's where you sent people to kill their babies, and women who are having children out of wedlock, and these pits of these children that were then found years later.
Like residential schools.
Yes, exactly. Okay, yeah, similar kind of like what would you call it? Like an extension of society, essentially taking the rights of these people away, right? Yeah. And so and this game just weaves all of this stuff in such a natural, human way. It's not giving you shitloads of text. It's giving you snippets in every little conversation. And I don't know what it was like for you, but for me, it was like really impactful and powerful. And the end of the game, I was crying by the end. Like it was just like super meaningful. It made me so proud of my Irish heritage. It made me so proud to be an Irish gamer. Like I can't believe they pulled this off, and they got it. And they did so much. Like the whole game is about loss and regret and generational guilt and fucking all the terrible things that happen to us, and how people can help each other ultimately, and how and rallying against forces that are out of our control, and all of this stuff. And it's a very human game. It's a very like understanding and empathetic game. It does that gothic horror so well. It's less jump scary. It's more sort of under your skin. Yeah. Like the shit that's going on here is, a lot of it is like weird stuff from the past. A lot of it is people being weird today, And so, yeah, just as an Irish, I'll probably never play a game that is as truly Irish and makes me feel proud of my Irish heritage and accurately communicates aspects of who I am to people that I'm like, this might seem like a strange thing to say, but given the game, I'll say it, right? There is this, I have such like privilege in the world as a white person from a country that is like sort of seen in good favor. Most of the world doesn't have a problem with Irish people. We're seen as a little bit of a, historical victim culture, but one that is generally quite jovial, and we're not bitter and all that sort of stuff. There is all this shit that we have over there that we grow up with, right? And you see it come out. You see it come out with like, Palestinian solidarity in 2025 is perhaps a good example of this, right? Where you see the bite come because of the world, the way we grew up, the complex history and culture and
very recent complex history.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Especially, I'm lucky to have grown up in the South and born in the late 80s. So I never experienced much of anything except a lovely childhood, but like certainly my parents and my parents and like you don't have to go that far back and Ireland gets real fucked up real quickly, right? And then it goes that way for 800 years and then it keeps going back for even longer, like, and you're in touch with your history there. Like I've said before, I skateboarded on Viking walls. Like it is around you. My name is associated with Iberian fishermen, like from like I get it, like, and all this stuff like Tuatha De Danann and all the stories we talk about and Cuchulainn and the High Kings and all this shit, the children of Lear, these are stories that we're told. And so Irish people are like, we secretly have this massive like secret language. And maybe it's why, and we literally have a secret language too, and I'm terrible at Caintas Gaeilge, but we have this, and maybe this is what it's helping me sort of understand that, like, maybe this is why we are, whenever you see another Irish person as an Irish person, there is this immediate bond and fraternity that exists, regardless of their status or anything, and I think, or age or whatever, there's this humanity and homeliness that exists there. And I think a lot of it is because we have this very different outlook on the world because of the way in which we grew up. And to see a game not just reflect that, but celebrate it, critique it, I think importantly as well, and sort of give me the space to be in that, as an immigrant as well, I think was incredibly meaningful. And I think that's why it's just a game that, by virtue of my past and what it's talking about, is done right, is going to be one of the most important games I've ever played in my life. And they did it right. I fucking loved it. And it is one of the most important games I'll probably ever play in my life. And I'm really, really grateful that it came out. It's a real piece of work.
That's beautiful, man. I think there were moments in this where I was thinking to myself, I wish I had a Danny O'Dwyer on my shoulder to give me that context. Not like seriously, like I was thinking, listen. Like, I wish you could have been my Navi. I would have told you to shut up 20 minutes in. It would have been great though. No, like genuinely, I think there's a part of this, and I've seen this playing Hell Clock, and I've seen this playing this game, and like Despolote this year as well. Like I'm finding myself really drawn to games that are pulling from a very specific era, a very specific culture, like trying to capture something and give me just a window into that, inspire me to look into something that I hadn't considered. And I think like Irish culture, like you're totally right. It's something that is sort of understated. It's something that you guys like don't do too much of talking about. You're very humble. Like you are very not unwilling, but like if someone asks you, you will go forever. But it's like we don't have the language to talk about it. We don't know what it is to ask. And I think it's great to see games like this. And like I know there's a couple other like Crowded Followed is I don't know how necessarily Irish that is, but they recently had an update for that game where they've added the Irish language, and there's like a whole team there's a whole team of translators right now who are like translating games into Irish, which is great. Like I think more of that for every culture, but like it's great, especially just to see it for you, like just personally as an extension of you on this team. It's like it's great to see something that for you connects in this way culturally, and just to hear you tell the stories. Like I could listen to you talk about this game and the way that it inspires you forever, man. This is awesome.
It's thank you. It's a super special piece of work, and I hope that it's getting its flowers back home. That was one of the things I was thinking, like when I used to work in radio and stuff, and you know, they don't often have great video game reporting on that stuff, which is why I was getting so much freelance work back in those days. But I hope people back home, like they should like play this in schools. Like this is, you know, the way like we talked about it with Pentiment. This was a big thing, right? Like my understanding of that part of history and that part of the world was very surface level, and to be able to be in that world in Pentiment and like chat to people and like learn that like, oh, they farmed that way then, and you got that information because you saw some pixels walk across the screen, or you clicked on a little tooltip, or you had a conversation and it told you. And then by the end of Pentiment, you had this, you know, incomplete but like rich understanding of what it was probably like in some respects in Bavaria in that era. And yeah, that's what's so cool about these games. You totally hit the nail on the head. Like Despelote, I talked a bit about the shared experience of Irish kids in Italia 90 and USA 94, but to understand, like that game did a great job of explaining the political landscape at the time, the economic landscape, like so many aspects of the game, and similarly this does a really great job. And like Irish history is so long, this game does not feel long. Like it's 100 years, 90 years before I was born. But like in the credits, they had a bunch of places and stuff that they were giving thanks to. Two of them I'd been to and know really well. Like,
oh my God.
One was Westport House in on the West Coast, which I used to go to. It was like the first place we went on holiday when I was a kid. You'd stay there, and it was they had a thing called Pinky Rabbit, which was a big fucking pink rabbit, like a man in a big pink rabbit suit that my parents were constantly trying to get me to take a photograph beside, and
I bet you wouldn't do. Yeah,
scared the ever living shit out of me.
I'm scared now. Like, you're just describing it.
Yeah, you should look up. I think I've sent pictures of Pinky Rabbit to you guys before. Look up Pinky Rabbit Westport House, and I bet you'll get the most fucked up, creepypasta ass looking thing.
I'm getting not anything scary.
Oh, dude, I just immediately found a fucking thing from Mayo County Council. I'm going to stick this. This is you got to stick this.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You see that fucking guy?
Dude, this guy's blazed out of his mind.
That's the most haggard ass fucking rabbit suit.
Why does Rabbit got a dump truck, though? God damn.
Yeah, he does. He's got he's real. There's a picture of him on one of the boats. I remember going on those boats in Westport. There's a picture of him in Westport House. You can see him right there.
Perfect.
That should be our fucking...
Kind of looks like the Seance of Blake Manor.
It does a little bit. The Seance of fucking Pinky Rabbit. And then another one was Loftus Hall, which is this... was the haunted house that we talked about at school. That was on...
Oh, wow.
We could see it across the river from Dunmore, which is where I was where I got married. I pointed at it at my wedding to all of our guests. It opened up as a haunted house a couple of years ago, actually, as a business. It was just a fucked up place that on Halloween... kids would drive out to Loftus Hall and try and break in. Like it was, and there was a whole thing about how the devil's fist came through the entryway. Like, so this shit is like, this is my childhood. Like this is real shit. And yeah, it was, I grew up across the road from an ancient asylum that had been there for 200 years, St. Otterans in Waterford. And it was my playground growing up. So yeah, this was like about as close to, you know what? I didn't get the Assassin's Creed DLC. This was better. This was a better thing to get. So yeah. I'm okay. I'm okay about it.
And it costs less than the DLC, probably.
It does. It's $20 to buy it.
That's too little. They should have charged at least 30.
I'm kind of with you because I didn't realize how long it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know, my Steam, I must have left it paused for a while at some stage, I'm sure. But my Steam for it is 21 hours. So wow. I'm guessing it's 18, maybe something like that. Yeah, but I fucking 3 days. I
just nonstop, eh?
Yeah, I just absolutely shotgun this fucker. It was great.
There you go.
Seance of Blake Manor. You can play a demo as well, which is the start of the game. Available now. If you buy it and play it, I think like today, which is too late for you, I think you can play it in unison with the game time.
Oh,
because it
cool.
takes
Great.
place
Starts on the 30th, right? Yeah.
It takes place before Halloween or Samhain, which is the original Irish name for it. You learn a little bit about that as well. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Seance of Blake Manor. Thanks for letting me gush about it. It was a really
Thank you for gushing.
Always a pleasure to gush in front of my boys.
I take it back. I hate that you gushed, and I wish you never did.
Talking about their balls. Speaking of Frank's balls, let's talk about Once Upon a Katamari, Frank. The ultimate ball in video games. This is a new Katamari game. No Keita Takahashi, but this is not, surprise, surprise, this is not another rebranded reboot of one of the original Katamari games.
And that's a fair thing, is like, this is a brand new Katamari, brand new stages. Because, the last, like, decade is, like, so there's, like, in 2018 was, like, Katamari Reball or whatever, the HD remake. HD remaster of the original. Then they did We Love Katamari remaster fairly recently. And then even like the Xbox 360 era of like Beautiful Katamari and the other one were like, there were some new stages, but they were mostly like, okay, let's just do these levels again and tweak the objectives. So
totally, which I did not realize when I was playing them. I went back and played the old ones. I was like, oh, they just like reskinned a bunch of this stuff. Weird.
Yeah, so it's like, and I know there's like a Vita one, but it's so finally there's a brand new, like Katamari game of all new stages, and that's why it's like, like even on Steam it has like less than 500 reviews. Like people don't know it's out, it's here, it is a new game, but it's also a budget title. It's only $40. So this is Once Upon a Katamari, and it's without Keita Takahashi, but it has all the same DNA. It's the hook with this game is each map is like you're going to different eras. So the first one's like feudal Japan. The second one is like cowboy America. There's like dinosaur age, like the Stone Age, the Ice Age. So the levels are very like Disneyland. It's like, okay, this is what the theming of these era levels are. There's like an ancient Greek one. So it's like really cute and charming. I'm still eager for like the first two Katamaris were all like contemporary Japan, which is like what I'm obsessed with. But they did that for 2 games. I'm hoping the last era is like contemporary stuff. But it's super cute. The one kind of cool thing of like with this being made for like current generations is it feels like the levels are very dense with things to pick up. It still maintains the cute like PS2 like bizarre art style. But the levels are very, very dense with items to pick up and roll around. And
like more so. Do you feel like with the modern, like, are they bigger levels, or is it you said more dense? Or
I think there's just more. I could be wrong, but I feel like there's just way more objects that you're picking up. And so I think like the levels are denser. I feel like, and again, I could be wrong, but it feels like, oh man, there's a lot of just crap in a good way. Like it's all cute and fun, but then you'll start like all the Katamari games. Then you'll scale up, and then the super small objects will disappear, and then everything you pick up kind of scales up. Now you can pick up trees, the same kind of thing. And then this does a combination. Like half the levels are just roll up as much stuff as you can, and then there's like the more objective focused one that's like, all right, collect 60 pieces of wood, or just collect apples. Same like things like that. The trophy achievement list, what I like, is very easy. Some of the Katamari games have really hard trophies. It's like pick up one of every object, or little very specific things like this. Here, every level, there's like 3 hidden crowns. The achievements are just get all the crowns in all the levels. That's it. So it's like, oh, I actually might stick and platinum this. As you're rolling the levels, there's like grade rankings. So like if you just do the bare minimum, a D, keep rolling bigger, C, B, A, S. So the level always ends this intensity of like, have I collected all the crowns? Have I got, every level has a secret cousin that you can roll up and
I love the cousins. Oh man.
There's like the cosmetics, so you can customize your Katamari, which I think they did in like the 360 era ones as well. And then, so that's
Wait,
it. So
customize your Katamari or customize the prince?
You're right. No, customize the Katamari, the cousin, the character you're playing as. So
isn't
right
the ball the Katamari?
I don't know what is the Katamari.
Is this a Metroid situation? I think you're playing as the prince, and then the ball is the Katamari.
No, oh wait, you're right, because the king of all cosmos. Sorry, you're the prince. Yeah. So I don't know what a Katamari is. Is the Katamari the ball?
It's the ball. I think it's the ball.
Oh, okay. So you're customizing the prince and all different sorts of parts, and music awesome, like just great Shibuya-kei like Japanese hip hop stuff. So like,
is there singing in it? Is there?
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it all?
So and then I don't know if this is just in the deluxe edition, but I think the deluxe edition lets you have all the old game soundtracks too. But even the new stuff too is like all just great music. So like, and they have like a credits list. I think I don't know if it's all music originally made for this or if they license other stuff. But yeah,
actually, the music for this game, they've been putting out music videos for the last couple of weeks of just songs from the game with like custom art music videos. They're really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all. They didn't just do a bunch of AI stuff like the Deftones
At this point,
ones.
everything I see, I'm like,
visualizers. Yeah.
Did they do that really?
Yeah, a lot of bands have been doing this where they'll put out the visualizers, which is usually just a bunch of looped imagery, maybe with the lyrics up. But yeah, there was one or two ones off the latest Deftones album that were definitely using AI. Yeah, I think you're right. I think King of All Sounds edition, it's an extra $20, and you get 60 song tracks from past game series and 26 costumes from the past game series. So it ain't cheap, but it brings it up to like a $60 game. But yeah, interesting.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's kind of it. Like, I'm gonna keep playing. I'll probably get the platinum, and yeah, I'm just happy a new one is out. It's good. They didn't mess it up even without Kenta Takahashi, and so yeah, I will constantly play these games every time they come out. So much so, and I've done this before, where like I'll play the PS5 edition, and then I'll play the Xbox edition for achievements maybe next year. So yeah, it's good. The fact that it's only $40 is awesome. I've had no performance issues on. I'm playing on PS5. I did notice like Jeff Gerstmann and Sebmal on like Blue Sky and Twitch have been talking about how like it controls a little differently than if you're a purist of the OG ones. I haven't really noticed it. But Sebmal posted a very good detailed video on Blue Sky of like the game will like lock into 8 different directions. So it's like kind of sharp when you're I think what they tried to do is make the controls easier, but I think in doing that it's almost like not Tony Hawk or Skate, but I think it's a thing where it's like if you played the old ones, I think they like simplified the controls a bit so where it doesn't control 100% as you thought it did. Like,
yeah.
I think they made it easier, but in doing so, it like, oh wait, your muscle memory's a little off. It hasn't affected me that much, but I think like, yeah, because even when you start the game, Skate does this too. It's like, do you want to try the new simple controls? You just use one thumbstick, or do you want the original old ones? And I'm like, oh, let me do the original old ones. But even then,
you can you?
Yeah. Okay. So there's a simple edition, and then the old school ones. They added like almost like Vampire Survivors. There are magnets and power ups on the field, so you can't get the magnet and press L2, and then anything near you will just absorbs your ball.
Oh, that's cool.
So they've like kind of modernized it a bit, but not too much. Another power up is like a rocket, so you can just zip through the level. And yeah, again, there's just so like I like these games because all these levels are like Where's Waldo maps or whatever, where it's just like there's just so many cute, silly, ridiculous scenes, and it's so delightful. It's like so colorful. The music is awesome. It just puts me in such a good mood. And yeah, they're always delightful, and I haven't had any hassles. I've had one issue on one level where just the size of my ball, I like landed in a spot and I was stuck, so I had to restart the stage. But that's just happened once after maybe like I would say 5-6 hours of playing. So yeah, it seems glitch free and smooth. Yeah, nice. And again, it's weird they just jumped it for $40. It's like, this is a brand new Katamari. Okay, great. Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, I'm just glad that we finally, as somebody, the biggest Katamari fan in this crew, among people who love these games, I'm just glad that we finally were able to help you understand what the ball was called.
That's why I never even considered
This is like that time
what does Damasi mean?
That's a good question. Happiness, probably.
The world?
Ball happiness.
Okay, Katamari is the ball. Okay, got it.
Damashi.
Even my 7-year-old daughter knew that when she was 5. She knew what the
Katamari was?
She knew what the prince was, too, because I have a little plush prince.
Oh, perfect. She was like, I want the prince. And you're like, good, you're learning. Good.
Exactly. Yes, child. Yeah. I will make you the ultimate gamer.
Now, when you see the lady in the suit from Metroid, that is not Metroid. Don't forget, that is Samus. You don't want to get clowned by the cool kids.
The boy is Link.
But this kid, this is Earthbound. That's what this kid's name is.
I saw Gerstmann. Did he interview his son about Katamari on the podcast? It's pretty good.
I didn't get the chance to listen to it, but it was awesome because like for months leading into this game coming out, Jeff Gerstmann has just been chronicling his son's obsession with Katamari, and so yeah, I gotta hear his kid's review of it. Does the kid like? I don't know.
I suspect that my daughter and his son are going to have some sort of, Highlander style battle for video game. for the video game crown at some stage in the future. Speaking of interesting game names and Japan, did you guys see the story about Shitty Dungeon?
Sorry?
Shitty Dungeon.
Okay, no. What?
It's some Italian developer made a game. I forget the name of it. Let me see if I can find the name of it. Crazy Hyper Dungeon Chronicles was its name. And I guess he just used like Google Translate or something to change it into Japanese. What do we call them again? The symbols? Kanji?
Kanakata or kanji? I guess kanji, yeah.
Sorry.
Kanji.
Where's Jeremy when you need him?
Yeah.
Frank, do you know that? What the symbols are called?
It's like katakana and then kanji, but I can't tell them apart.
Well, they translated it to Kuso Dungeon, which apparently in Japanese
shit dungeon,
means shit dungeon. So yeah. So apparently it went viral in Japan because this game went up that was clearly from a Western dev that called it something weird. It's like the inverted English problem thing that happens over here, which I thought was pretty cool. So apparently it got picked up by the media in Japan. People were reviewing it really well. And so the game did pretty good. His sales skyrocketed and it was a complete accident and fuck up. And I thought that was pretty funny.
That's perfect. What a way to go.
Shitty Dungeon. We should rename it in English, honestly.
Why not? They should do that the other way around and like take English games, translate them to Japanese, and then translate them back to English. And it's just super, super shooty fun time. Like I would play way more games if they were called that for sure.
Absolutely.
Next Call of Duty.
My favorite thing, like no joke, like walking around Japan and seeing all those poorly translated, some of it seems very intentional or like sort of self-aware. But it always made me smile. It was never like, ha ha ha, these silly foreigners, they don't understand. It was more always like, yeah, man. Like, I remember me and Jeremy were in just one of the 7-Elevens and they had like a sliced pan of bread and it was like bread for making the everyday better feeling. And I was like, yeah, buddy.
That's awesome.
If that was in fucking Lucky's, I'd get that, I'd buy that bread too. I'm like, yeah, sell it to me. That's good stuff. Once Upon a Katamari. Thanks, Frank. I'm gonna check that out that weekend. I think I could need a pick me up game, so that would be a good time. And then let's round up our spooky games here with Spooky Express. Jesse, you played a little bit of this. This is the latest sort of. We need a name for these things. They're kind of just like fast level puzzle games, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little puzzle game, like an arcade puzzle game, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a bad chat. Yeah.
I think this team in particular, actually, Dragneck and Friends, led by Alan Hazelden, they've been making games like this for the last 11, 12 years, something like that. I think everything they make is fantastic. The previous game that was in the same style as this, Cosmic Express, really great game, tons of good puzzles. Spooky Express is I would call it a snake-like puzzle game. You control a train, Snake the video game, not Snake the animal, or Snake the guy. You control a train, and you are trying to go from one set of tracks to the other set of tracks, but along the way, you have to complete a couple of objectives. To start you off, it's like you have to get the vampires into their coffin or the zombies into their hole. And they add more characters as time goes on that have different rules. And the best part of this game, and I think all of Dragneck and Friends' games, is like they take a series of rules, very simple rules, and they show you how those rules can interact with each other, intersect, and then also bump up against each other and how you can maneuver the world in a way in these very tiny little spaces. Actually, world is the wrong word to use. And have them trick your brain in like a very satisfying kind of way. Like not all of their puzzles, but a lot of their puzzles do my favorite thing that any puzzle can do, which is you get to the very end of it and you find out you did the whole puzzle wrong. And it's like, in theory, a very frustrating feeling, but because they're so short and it's so easy to undo what you've done, it's like a satisfying challenge. Like you realize that the rules as you understand them do not function in the way that this puzzle is structured. Like because it's a train, right? You can't pass over the tracks once you've laid them out. You're basically laying out a track on a grid of squares in this game. Each move that you make isn't permanent, but like you can't go backwards on the train and you can't build hops over the train or bridges over the train. You just have to go in the order that it's in. So like if you've blocked the whole grid, you can't go back to like if you've gone north to south, you can't go east to west now. You have to think about how you're going to maneuver in that way. So there's lots of great challenges they pull off just with that aspect of it. And then the rules as they overlap. Oh, now you can like pick up children in your train, not in a creepy way, and like bring them to the end, but they can't, they get scared of the zombies and the vampires. And like, how does that work? So it's very childish and cute and silly, and like spooky is the perfect word to use for this. It's not scary. It's not horrific. It's spooky. It's like an 80s or 90s Halloween cartoon turned into a puzzle video game.
Hey, Jesse, what did the zombies say when you pick them up?
Instead of brains, they say trains.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Can I ask? So I have this widescreen monitor here, which was actually donated to Noclip by one of our listeners or one of our viewers. So thanks again to that wonderful man. It's a widescreen monitor, and when this game plays, it plays it in widescreen. And I was immediately like, I need to play this on a Steam Deck. This is too big. Like the game is fairly like pushed in, you know? So I was thinking like, oh, it feels like it's not, I don't want to say the word mobile game, but like it feels a chunky in a way that like game, you know, some of those games do so even more. Have you played this on Steam Deck? Because to me, it feels like a perfect little Steam Deck.
I played it exclusively on Steam Deck. I had no issues with it, no technical issues or anything. Plays great on controller. You undo the movement of the tracks as you've laid them with either a button, or you can just go backwards and like pull the track back and it'll just disappear. Yeah. So like it feels really good. And I was like, why would you do that? That feels unnecessary. You have an undo button. There's a version of this that's going to be out on mobile. So that makes sense, because then you would just track backwards with your finger to undo what you've laid. So that makes perfect sense. And like most of, again, Drachnik and Friends, most of their games have come out on mobile and work great on mobile. I think they're great on iPad. Like they've published some games as well. LOK Digital, a game I talked about last year. It's like a mobile puzzle game about letters and stuff. They published that. So that was like a really cool thing that they did. They've published a couple other games. I think they worked on Bonfire Peaks in some way. They actually, like, give me 30 seconds here to tell you how cool these people are. Alan Hazelden, I don't know this guy. I've been following him for years. I think like in terms of supporting puzzle games, a genre of games that like is not particularly, you know, well beloved. It's hard to sell a puzzle game to people unless it's like one of the greatest puzzle games of all time. Right. They have done the work of like really championing these games and like putting their money where their mouth is too. Like they have a grant that they give to underrepresented, underfunded developers every year called the New Voice Grant. And one of their games that they've give the money to, Map, looks fantastic. It's like a cute little mapping game about this little girl going around trying to find where photos go, I believe. It's similar to a game I played a little while ago called Locator, I think. So they've done like really cool stuff there. They have a podcast where they talk about puzzle games. They have a newsletter where they send you a lot of cool puzzle games called Thinky Third Thursday every month. Like it is seriously, they do a showcase on Steam called Cerebral Puzzle Showcase or something like that. Like they do the hard work, not just of making great puzzle games, but like sharing them with people. I think they're like some of the coolest people in terms of puzzle games. I've been following them forever, and it was great to play this new game from them and have it be, I would think, on the same level as Cosmic Express. If you've played that game or if you've seen that game, it looks that cute and it plays that well. I think they make really great games, and I think this one's another one. And if you can play it on mobile, that's probably the best place to play it, in my opinion. But it's great on Steam Deck, and you'll love it on your computer as well.
Hell yeah. Is it available in mobile game?
Not yet, or it is now. I remember them saying
I can see it working on an iPad real good.
Oh yeah. I can see it. Even on mobile, like even on like a regular old cellular telephone, it plays well. Yeah. Or the other ones did.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah, that's Spooky Express, available now for how much are you? Spooky Express. I got it for free.
I don't know. They sent us a key.
They did. They sent me a key as well.
$15?
Yeah, $15, 10% off at the moment. Check it out. Spooky Express, Drachnik and Friends. Do you happen to remember the name of their podcast off the top of your head?
I think it's just Drachnik and Friends.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Yeah. Nice one. Check it out. Go search for it. That's all the games we have time for this week. We have some emails, though, here. Frank Howley, what we got?
Yeah, if people want to send us an email, write to us, podcast@noclip.video, or in the Patreon Discord, the podcast chat channel. Once again, that's podcast@noclip.video. Our first message comes from Retro Rents Al. What's a game that you are not excited about? Perhaps you thought was yet another rehash or iteration, but then it completely surprised you. Their example was House of Necrosis. My initial thought was another PS1 style Resident Evil remake. I saw turn-based, which I love, but it didn't really register how that would work. Then y'all featured it. Jeremy explained it, and I immediately grabbed it. I don't know if the Steam description didn't slap for me or what, but I put many hours into that game. It's so much fun.
Hell yeah. Love it. Thanks for That's the work. That's what Noclip 2 is all about, is connecting y'all with. We're like matchmakers for video games and people. I've got a couple. Do you guys have any, or do you need a second to think about it?
So hop away.
I'm going to say Black Mesa, first of all. You know, big Half-Life 1 fan, warts and all, or whatever. I didn't, you know, the wart being Zen. I didn't. I've always had a little soft spot for that end of game stuff anyway. I think it freaked me out in a sort of Cronenbergian way, so I didn't dislike it like a lot of people did. I had touched Black Mesa years and years and years ago, very lightly, and I didn't really play it until we did the doc, which was post Zen coming out, and it floored me. Yeah, just the way and it wasn't just a simple Half-Life remake. Like, they adapted it in very clever ways. They added to it in very thoughtful ways that felt in keeping with the spirit of the game. It is a game that is genuinely difficult to not get people to play. If you're saying go play all the Half-Life games, it feels like an extension of that game in many ways because it's made by a bunch of fans. So definitely Black Mesa. I think the Demon Souls remake I'd also put in this. I'd never played Demon Souls. I played Bloodborne and a bunch of the new ones. And I think I played Dark Souls when the time Demon Souls remake came out. And I know some people don't like it as much. I know Jeremy doesn't. I believe he's not a big fan of the remake. I love it. It might be my favorite way to play one of those games. I think just I'll be honest, having a solid UI, a snappy control scheme, and a good frame rate makes a fucking difference with those games. And I think I really like that. And I know they redesigned some monsters and people, don't love them so much, but I really like Demon Souls. And then I think just as a straight sequel that I shouldn't have been all that looking forward to based on the third game, Resi 4 was
like original Resi 4.
Yes, okay. Original Resi 4, not the remake. Resi 1 I really liked. Resi 2, sort of like Tomb Raider 2, was a little bit too action-packed for me. Like, I know people really like Resi 2, but I preferred the gothic horror of the first one. And then Nemesis was not really for me. Like, I think it was just going a bit too anime for me at that stage. And 4 was, they were like, I think we had a bit of an idea before it came out that this was going to be different because you're like, they're setting it in fucking Galicia and Spain, and like, you're fucking Chris, and you're not like, wait, are you Chris? No, you're not Chris. Leon. You're Leon. Sorry, you're Leon, and but like, you're totally fish out of water here, and so, I think I was super. That to me is the biggest jump in quality between those games and I have friends who love Nemesis, and they eventually brought that system back, and not the Nemesis system, but the system of having Mr. X or whoever chasing after you, or Lady Dimitrescu in Village, but I think 4 for me was definitely a shock when I eventually played it.
I think for me, probably Absalom is probably the most recent one. I didn't like beat 'em ups. I think I've been over this. I never really got into that genre. And now I think I beat that game recently. I think it's one of my favorite games of this year. It is so much fun. I love making the builds and like figuring out what kind of player I want to be. But then I like the characters and all their individual abilities and the way that they interact with the world. I think that's really, really cool. Like, you learn the nuances of them in this way that I haven't in any of the older beat 'em ups when I tried to take them really seriously. So yeah, I love it. I love that game so much. I can't think of any other ones.
I still haven't played. I forgot. I totally forgot about Absalom. I know you guys talked about it, but I was I need to play that for sure.
Yeah, I can't.
I wonder if it'll be in our Game of the Year discussions.
It's in for me. I'm not going to like
you have it in the doc,
but I definitely put it in our little spreadsheet of
Excellent.
Games. Yeah.
A lot of fucking games in that spreadsheet.
And we're only just starting. I haven't played Digimon Story Time Stranger yet. I might force you guys to play that.
Holy shit. Hey, look, if I have to force a lot of people to play Irish history game, then
You also put Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 on there, man. Come on.
Yeah, I felt bad about that one. I mean, I've not even completed that. So
it's okay. It's on Amazon Luna for free now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize, like, Amazon obviously has had there was horrific news this week about
the layoffs.
Massive corporate layoffs at Amazon and a bunch of other places.
New World, their MMO, they're just dropping it.
Yeah,
come on, what is that about?
Apparently they had a store called Luna, which they were doing some Twitch stuff.
It's their
I did not
Stadia
know it existed.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't, no idea. Yeah.
Still going though.
Makes Epic Game Store look successful. I think Luna does.
Well, does Epic Game Store have the Snoop Dogg courtroom video game?
Excuse me?
Oh yeah. They have an
Frank,
AI-generated Snoop Dogg courtroom video game.
Yeah, I saw on Luna. There's like a chibi Snoop Dogg in a judge suit, and so that's their exclusive.
Yep.
I think we might have a Noclip 2 patron exclusive video here. Courtroom Chaos starring Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
It's it's free.
Yeah.
You play it in browser, do you?
You can play it in browser. You can play it on your TV. You can play it anywhere, thanks to Amazon Luna.
Oh my God! Look at this AI Snoop Dogg head.
Solidarity with the workers who were laid off at Amazon.
Yeah, this is why you're Jesus.
You were let go so they could continue to burn the Amazon rainforest, so Snoop Dogg could say the word "come." That's literally like that's. Come on, it's one of those games. I'm sure he's just going to say that a lot.
At least the forests that Snoop burns are not
my kind of tree.
They're my kind of tree. Yeah. Exactly. I'm with
Frank, did you have any iterations that you thought were good?
I was surprised Silent Hill 2 was really good. The
remake?
The remake.
Yeah.
Because Konami's kind of like swung back and proven themselves. Of like, I mean, even if they are just doing remakes, I didn't play Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, but people like that too. But yeah, I was surprised Silent Hill 2 was good, and then they announced Silent Hill F, and I was skeptical, and then that was really good. Like I beat it, and now I need to get the other endings. So yeah, I was very surprised that they brought back Silent Hill successfully.
Yeah, and they successfully, they're back to the good old days, like Haunting Grounds, right? Classic Capcom. We'll talk about that in a hot minute. Another question. We got a few more here, right?
Yeah, from AJP Discord. AJP wrote in our Discord and asked, last week, several weeks ago, Jeremy mentioned he doesn't really replay games. Do the rest of you? And then if you had to pick one game forever, what would it be?
BioShock. I play BioShock every year. Around now, actually, I play it every year.
Nice.
I can play the game forever. I don't know what it is. I've played it so many times, and every time I play it, I'm like, oh yeah, right, you do this. This is great.
You don't know what it is? Would you kindly play BioShock, Jesse?
Oh yeah, they keep wiping my memory. That's what it is. Yeah, you're right. I think, some bad Irish accent. Sorry, you were being really positive. You were being so nice and excited about Irish culture, and we recorded that indie rec yesterday, and I wanted so badly to be like, yeah, my favorite Irish line is "Sploicer." Oh, I'm hanging out with those sploicers.
So legitimately, that was the best Irish. That is a really good Irish accent.
Is that okay? All right.
It's actually, and what shook me about him in that game, and if without spoilers, I'm not going to get into it. It kind of does make a little bit of sense. Is that he's an American voice actor?
It's put on, yeah,
but it's proper
bang on?
North Dublin, yeah. Splicers changed everything. You know what I mean? Like it was like I remember being so excited when I booted up that game, hearing an Irish voice. It was like, holy shit, that's cool. So no, it's actually legitimately BioShock is a good Irish accent. Yeah.
See that
it's not Nicole Kidman in Legends of the Fall.
I love to learn this kind of stuff, that like the thing everyone has criticized as being insensitive is actually okay. Like the Ben Kingsley playing Gandhi thing. Like that's bad, but like isn't he Indian? Like isn't his dad Indian?
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. Like I looked at it, I was like, his name is not Ben Kingsley. His real name is.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Like this whole time, I just accepted everyone's criticism of him for being like that, being culturally insensitive. Like, no.
Oh, you're right. Krishna Pandit Banji is his name.
Yeah. Like I was just like, okay, everyone says that's bad. I guess that's bad. I'm just going to accept that. But like, no, I'm being more skeptical at my older age.
That's a good point. Yeah. There you go. Anyway. Yeah. His Indian Gujarati, I want to say.
Yeah, Gujarati
father. Right. Yeah. That's pretty cool. There you go. Wow. That's wild. Frank, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I will replay games for achievements or trophies. And like even before, like I feel like once a year I would like play through a Tony Hawk game. Like I did that consistently, and I guess still to this day because they just put out Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remaster. But yeah, I don't know. But in terms of one single game, like if my friends all still play World of Warcraft, I would still play World of Warcraft. But like it's dependent. Like it's not as fun to play by yourself. And so, I don't think there's like no single game I could replay constantly. The game I've replayed the most is Resident Evil.
Nice.
Yeah. And so like, I'll still replay that every now and then, but, I don't know. I can't pick one single game.
The game I've replayed the most is Half-Life. I used to do it every year. The week in November it was released. And then for a time, I think I did it almost every year until the year Alex was coming out, and I decided not to. And then we did the docs, and I haven't since, because I've like OD'd maybe on Half-Life stuff, and have done. We did our good work on those Valve docs, and it feels pretty good. But Alex is one that I've replayed during COVID. I went back and replayed it in maybe 2021, and I've been looking forward to replaying it again once the studio is finished out in the barn. And then, apart from that, not really. I'm not a big. We have so many games to cover.
Yeah,
and there's so much, like, even before Noclip 2, there's so much stuff to talk about in the podcast here, or so many games to play for documentaries, or trying to keep on top of things, contemporary games, so you're not taking your finger off the pulse.
Dude, even just like really getting invested in a video game has become really challenging. Of like, sometimes I want to give 50, 100 hours into something that I'm really enjoying, but I'm like, I could do that and grind it out, or I could play 30 other good video games and have, stuff to talk about at work this week. So it's been a weird, I guess, a privilege. It's not really a challenge. It's kind of cool that we get to do that.
It's different to like 10 years ago, where like when I worked at GameSpot, I felt a lot of pressure to play games a lot, but it was, they released like 3 30-hour games this month, or 5 40-hour game, whatever it was. Like, it was a lot of big AAA games that you kind of needed to have played. So yeah, a lot of that stuff. But yeah, that's probably my comfort food is Half-Life.
Makes sense. Someone should do a doc about one of those.
No, we already did that.
All right.
It's done. All it's done.
Until they make a third one.
Frank, ask a question. We're waiting here.
And then DBRG asked, do you remember the first game you bought with your own money? I remember vividly grabbing a copy of Morrowind and Icewind Dale 2 on sale. Way over my head at the time, but I was mesmerized by the whole experience of those games. Big fan of RPGs ever since.
I remember we had a pawn shop near my house. And my mom would buy me like she'd buy me like good games, but she would also buy me like the crappy $5 bin stuff that I'd see. And I would always go trade those in, get a little bit of cash. I think the first game I ever bought was, I went to GameStop and I bought Mario Party 8, but it was like used way after the fact for the Wii. And I was so happy about that. I played it for hours and hours and hours. Mario Party 8.
That's cute. I like it. Fun School 2 on the Amiga. I'm not sure if I bought it or if it was bought for me. I don't remember the first game I bought, because the problem was, on the Amiga, you didn't buy games. The first game I bought was probably empty floppy disks, so I could copy my friends' games.
You stole them off the radio like everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they had a disc copying utility on the Amiga, so you just put in one disc, hit read, record, it would save it to RAM, and you put the next disc in, it would make a complete carbon copy of it. Wow. So like they built in fucking copying games.
Can't have DRM on this system.
No, it was ridiculous. They had that, the little read write thing on the disc. You just flicked it.
Oh,
that
wow.
was it. So fucking bad idea there, Commodore. But and they worked a lot better than the tape recording, because people did on like the Atari and stuff. Or 664, you'd copied the tapes, but it was less. That's analog. So I guess technically floppy disks are also analog, but it was a bit more open to bugs when you did it that way. But the Amiga ones were pretty solid. Yeah, so I don't know what I bought first, because Mortal Kombat, my dad bought us. Maybe it was like, it might have been one of the Sensible Soccers. My brother was probably buying those, though. Maybe Cannon Fodder. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can see Cannon Fodder. You have a lot of nostalgia for that. That makes sense.
It's a great game. Love that game. It's just whether or not my brother got it for Christmas or something. Right. Yeah, Frank, what about you?
Yeah, what about you, man?
The first game I bought with like a real job was like, I remember starting a teaching contract and film festival job, and I remember like all my friends were talking about Splatoon had just come out, and it was also maybe the only game out on Wii U, and I was like, all right, I'll buy Splatoon. And then I was surprised how much fun I had playing it online. But that was in my 20s. I don't remember because like my first actual income was through like I would edit videos, and then I think I even got money through YouTube, but like I do not remember. I guess World of Warcraft subscriptions. I think it was like once I started paying for my own World of Warcraft subscription. Maybe I feel like that seems, but I really don't remember. But I vividly remember buying Splatoon because of like, oh wait, no, I have like a job. Oh okay, yeah, I'll buy this, whatever. But yeah, as a kid, I don't know, because like I sold games. That wasn't my money. That was like presents I got, and then GameStop. Yeah,
that's a good point. I guess that's what I said. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything I bought. Maybe like something on probably the first fucking Humble Bundle. I bet is the first video game I ever bought with my own money, because that was like $1, and you got a bunch of really good video games. It's like Binding of Isaac and Dungeons of Dreadmore and a bunch of other stuff. I think.
That's a good point. Actually, I hadn't considered that. I would have gotten Christmas money, and I'm sure I would have bought. I bought secondhand games for sure for my Mega Drive for the Genesis. Brian Lara Cricket and a bunch of those. But I wonder, the first new game, it might have been like Unreal Tournament, maybe something like that. I think UT 99 might have been the first game I ever bought, because I still have that box.
Yeah, now I'm also trying to think about it. I'm like, what's the first full price video game I bought with my own money that my mom didn't give me money for at some point that I forgot about? I feel like UT99 is a good one to go with, because I think that might be it, but also that's a cool one. It's like when people ask me, like, I used to listen to just like the weirdest music as a kid. Like I was listening to Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, when I was like, I don't know, fucking 10 or something, singing it down the street. But then also I was into the Spice Girls and like everything. But my first ever album was Ava Adora by Smashing Pumpkins. That was the first album I ever bought. I was like 12 or something. I don't know. It was like, I feel pretty good about that one. That was all right. Even if Billy Corgan's a fucking lunatic or whatever. Oh, is he?
I think so. I think he's related to Bill Burr as well. They might be
really?
like half
they look the same, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I think they're half brothers maybe or something.
That's awesome.
Last question here. Frankie Howley.
Yeah, Jazz Jackrabbit asked, what's the worst food-related accident you've had while gaming? This is inspired by Danny spilling his coffee during the podcast, if you expect.
Damn. Give me PTSD here, Jazz Jackrabbit. The Forgotten Epic Game. Cliffy B's magnum opus, Jazz Jackrabbit.
Right. Yeah. Good pull.
Food related. I've definitely like spilled a beer on my keyboard a few times.
We've all had a Cheeto incident or two, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's got to happen. That's there. The silliest technology related one I had was I was drinking a girlfriend at the time's aunt's house. They were having a little Friday get together. They had a Friday get together in one of the aunt's houses or her house every week, and it would rotate. And we were in one of them, and I was pretty drunk on cider. And I took out my phone and checked a message on it, and then my brain decided that instead of putting this back in my pocket, that I should drop it in my pint. So I didn't like drop it. Like I intentionally just went and put it in the pint and went, nope, that's not what you do. It's like a full pint of cider. So I pulled it out and then wrapped it up in fucking, towels and
put it in a bucket of rice.
The rice. Yeah. Well, in Ireland, we have something called the hot press, we call it.
Oh, okay.
It's basically, I think in England, they call it the airing cupboard. We have there's a room where the boiler tends to be, and we keep a little room, like a cupboard. It's not a room, it's a cupboard in the wall, and behind it or beside it would be the heater for the house. And so it's one of the, just by it's not radiation or whatever it's called. It's hot in that cupboard, and you use that cupboard to air out and heat your clothing. So we I put it in there, and it was totally fine. It worked totally fine. But 5 people saw me do it.
It was a little
They're
drunk.
Like, what the fuck?
That's the only weird thing about your phone.
It was a little drunk. I think I was like 18 as well when it happened. So, I was a fucking idiot.
I'm trying to think if I have anything. I think it's probably like Pizza Pops or something dumb. I just got food in a button for a controller and had to throw it out. I can't think of anything catastrophic though.
I was playing Counter-Strike Surf Maps. I was like early 20s with my friends, and I was drinking like apple flavored whiskey. I don't know if it's Tennessee Williams, whatever that thing is. But we were just like all on the Counter-Strike mic, just screaming and just having a very good time. And I just kept drinking, and then I remember throwing up and never drinking apple whiskey again. So I don't know if it was a combination.
You throw up on your keyboard, or
no? I think I bent over and threw up in the trash can, and then went to the toilet. But like the combination of like drinking a lot, screaming with friends, having a good time, but then also maybe Counter-Strike Surf Maps.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna help. Yeah,
I think it accelerated it, but like. Yeah. It was just, I don't know. It was funny, but then it was like, oh, okay, I overdid it that night. But that's it.
There's a game called Surf's Up on Steam, which is a Counter-Strike surf map video game that is free to play.
Oh, so dude, DreamWorks is going to be pissed when they find out about that. You can't make a Surf's Up video game that's not about penguins committing genocide.
Good point. That's fair. Whoa. Did
you not watch the same Surf's Up I watched?
I've not seen it. Now I want to see it. See what's
the Biggie
on.
Scene was a reference to the Lemmings. That's what
Lord.
Don't push me, because man, what a stupid movie.
To watch. Oh Lord. Thanks for all the emails, everyone. Podcast@noclip.video. Thank you for listening to the podcast this week as well. We have a special, so Noclip wise, Disco Elysium is coming thick and fast. Excuse me, my wording there. We also, I'm trying to think what else is going on. We did the Patreon exclusive pod already, did we? For Noclip? We did. What movie did we review?
Spirits Within, Final Fantasy Spirits Within. So it should be on your Noclip Patreon feed over there. And Noclip 2, this week it is Spooky Sessions week. Each of us have played a spooky game for about an hour. And then there will be a Noclip 2 special edition of the podcast, which will be going up on Saturday. They're all going up at midnight. It's a day late. I was supposed to get it done a day earlier, but then, our cat died. So, I'm going to use that excuse one more time. So it's a little bit late. But at midnight, last night, we put up a spooky session. Jeremy playing Silent Hill 1. Today, Jesse Garash's one goes up midnight Pacific, and you are playing Mundan.
Spooky first-person monochromatic Alps.
That's right.
Eeriness. Good stuff. Frank Howling. That's perfect.
Oh!
What a Freudian slip.
Because he's
Frank
a big dog.
Howling. Danny Boudoir. Jesse.
Goo Rasha. Ooh, Gerslasha is better than Goo Rasha. I take it back.
Goo Rasha.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I don't like that.
It's like, no, I don't like that at all. Jeremy Payne, I guess, if he was here, would work. Frank Howling was playing Haunting Grounds. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Haunting Ground. It was made on the Resident Evil 4 engine. It's a PS2 survival horror game by Capcom. That's also one of the most expensive PS2 games that I have a physical copy of. I bought it for like $80 and now it goes for like $300.
Whoa.
It's typical Resident Evil. You're in a castle, except you have no weapons. You do have a dog who can help you, but it's basically hide and seek against freaks, and you're trying to escape the castle. And then the freaks will try to chase you and you have to hide. But you can't use the same hiding spot twice. So it's like genuinely like frustrating and terrifying to play because you can't fight. You can't, it's like if Mr. X comes for you in the Resident Evil 2 mansion or whatever, the PlayStation, right. You can shoot him or throw grenades at him, whatever. Here, you just have to run and pray he doesn't come your direction. It's like, and imagine playing it on PS2 hardware where you can't save state. Oh my God.
Yeah. Forbid. So that's the real horror story right there. And then I will round up the week with Alien vs. Predator, the 2000 version of the game, the old Rebellion game. I'll play some AVP, the Marine campaign I'll play for an hour or so, and that will be going up Halloween at midnight. And then on Saturday at midnight, we're going to publish a special podcast where we talk about our experience with the games. We won't have Jeremy because he's off on holidays at the moment. We couldn't, he just about got his recorded before he left. But it'll be the three of us, and also we'll be talking about all the comments that everyone's posted of their scariest games over on Noclip 2. So if you're a Noclip 2 member, get in there and drop your comment, and we'll talk about your scary game too, and we'll talk about ours too. And we thought it'd be a fun way to do some Patreon exclusive stuff on Noclip 2 that is sort of like themed. Like this is kind of what I feel like we're going to do with 2 is like every month we'll pick something different and do a couple of cool little Patreon exclusive bonuses around it. Maybe not every month, but it seems like the type of thing we can do a few times a year, and it'll be good fun. We've also burst through 600 patrons now on Noclip 2. So thank you all so much. It's really, really meaningful. We're getting closer to this thing being sustainable in its own right, which is really wonderful. On the Noclip side, check out this month's Patreon show and you'll see all the crazy stuff that's getting filmed this month. Next week, I'm going to be filming a certain sequel to a game that we covered quite a lot in the past in a series. I'm looking forward to chatting to those folks, not too far from here. So we got, that coming. We got a bunch of real cool stuff coming. Thanks, Jesse. How
close are we talking? How close are we going north? No, I'm kidding. Are we going north? It's a sequel to a game that you covered?
South about 40 minutes,
okay,
maybe.
Right,
In a plane or in a car, I'm not going to tell you. I'm also filming in the desert later this month for something else that we announced at our on Patreon and at our PAX panel as well. So I'm excited to get at it. And work continuing on Disco Elysium and Cyberpunk 2077 is the other one that it's getting done up. Trying to get that done, started at least in December, which would be pretty cool. So we'll see about that. We also have, by the time this goes up, we will also have an indie profile of Lente, who is a Dutch developer. She lives on a houseboat in the Netherlands and made the game Spilled, which I really enjoyed, that came out, was it earlier this year or was it last year?
Maybe last year.
I think it might have been last year.
Googling.
So a game about a boat.
Earlier this
environmentalism.
Year.
Early this year?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That was made by a developer on a boat. So it was great to chat to her. We had a great time. That's been up in early access on Noclip 2 for the past week or so. But that'll be up by the time this is too. Go check it out. Share it around. Review your indie games and share your Noclip 2 videos and keep video game journalism alive and kicking, at least alternative video game journalism on Noclip 2 while we're making all our documentaries over on Noclip. I have a lot of meetings today about docs for 2026, so I'm excited to get some of those chatted about. All right, that's it, folks. We are actually about to take a short break and then record said Spooky Sessions podcast. So we'll do that right now in real time. Go check out patreon.com/Noclip2 if you want to listen to that tomorrow by the time this goes up. And until next week, bye-bye. Oh, and do you say Law Fail a Sowendit? I'm not actually sure what the proper greeting is for Happy Halloween, but Happy Halloween,
Happy
everyone.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Ooh. Frank, do an ooh. Ooh.
Whoa.
Whoa, fucking, let's not go crazy here.